Hello, everybody. Steve coming at you, and welcome to Last Reps Baseball. Tonight should be an exciting matchup between two Japanese powerhouse baseball teams. I hope you all enjoy this and treat Freddie with all the respect he deserves. Call a good game, Freddie, and who knows, someday you may even see me in one of these games. And if you don't, you might want to come check out my channel and see what I do. You know what? But hey, let's get back to Freddie. Let's get some baseball. Let's just have a great game.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're in the world. Welcome to Last Rouse Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. We are going to be bringing you tonight the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks and the Seibu Lions in the final game of the three-game set, the Belluna Dome in Saitama. And we're going to give you the starting lineups first for the visitors from Fukuoka. Leading off in center field is number 23, Yukio Shudo. Hitting second at second base is number 13, Masaki Momori. Batting third in right field is number 9, Yuki Yanagita. The cleanup spot doing the designated hitting is number 3, Keisuke Kondo. Batting fifth at first base is number 7, Akira Nakamura. Hitting in the sixth spot and playing shortstop is number 6, Kenta Imamiya. Batting seventh in left field is number 32, Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Batting eighth at third base is number 99, Asami Nomura. Batting ninth and doing the catching is number 19, Takuya Kai. And they are going to be facing, it's going to be Tetsuya Imai, who takes to the hill for the Lions tonight, as he is going to be going head to head. His record on the season, 8-4. He has 111 innings pitched. He's allowed 77 hits, 33 runs, 29 of which have been earned. He's walked 49 and struck out 109. He's got an earned run average of 2.35. Well, that's your starting lineup for the visitors from Fukuoka. And now your lineup for the home team for the Seibu Lions. Leading off and playing shortstop is number 6, Sosuke Genda. Batting second and playing second base is number 5, Shuta Tonosaki. In the 3 spot and in right field, wearing number 9 is Takuya Haruma. Batting in the cleanup spot and playing first base is number 30, David McKinnon. Batting sixth at third base is number 58, Ryushi Sato. Hitting seventh in left field is number 68, Junichiro Kishi. Batting eighth and in center field is Ito. Batting ninth and doing the catching is number 22, Yuta Koga. And they are going to be facing the one-time closer for the Hawks. It's Yuta Mori. He takes to the hill. He is 2-1. This will be his 5th start of the year. Worked 19 and a third innings. He's allowed 16 hits, 7 runs, all of which have been earned. He's walked 5 and struck out 19, and he's got an ERA of 3.26. Those are your starting lineups. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action here. It is going to be Hawks and Lions. Looks like another sparse crowd in Saitama for this one, but we'll have all the action for you when we return right after this musical timeout. Hang on, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. It is not a full slate of games around the NPB tonight. There are 5 on the slate. Only one other game in the Pacific League, and that is in Tohoku, and it's going to feature the Golden Eagles and the Oryx Buffaloes, as they will also get going here in just a few moments. All games going on in the Central League. We'll wrap up the series this week. It is the Carp at the Swallows, Dragons at the Bay Stars, and Giants at the Tigers. Well, Amaya has completed his warm-up tosses, and we are ready to get this one underway, as it's going to be Shudo, Momori, and Yanagita to come to bat here to start the top of the first inning. And the first pitch at 6:01 local time is a fastball that just misses up and into Shudo for ball 1. Last night, it was the Achilles heel for the Lions. They had walked 9 Hawk batters. In last night's ball game, they got to do a much better job here of finding the strike zone. As there was a fastball that misses inside, the count now goes to 2-0. Shudo on the season batting .218 with a couple of homers and 16 runs driven in. He bats here from the left side. He's picked off a couple of stolen bases in this series, as he is now one shy of the 30 mark. Here's the 2-0 offering. It's a fastball again that misses inside, and the count now is 3-0. So just like as we said a moment ago, the ability to throw strikes for the Lions and keep the runners off the base pass in that manner is going to be the key to their success tonight. Namai falls behind 3-0 here to Shudo. Namai holding at the belt as he throws from a pseudo stretch. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now runs to 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Shudo. We will look to call another game tomorrow night, as it is going to be Central League action only, but we haven't quite decided what we're going to call. That'll be almost a game time decision. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded through the 4-hole, past the glove of Tonosaki into right field, and it's going to be a leadoff single here for Shudo. And Shudo is aboard. He's been getting more action regularly, and he has been producing. As he entered the fray tonight, we said hitting .218. He's pulled his average up over .220 now with that knock. He is slowly starting to get it together, as he had a very slow start to the season coming back after that excellent World Baseball Classic. Well, that brings Masaki Momori to the plate, and Momori batting at .278 on the year with 5 homers and 18 RBIs. Both he and Shudo, you got to keep your eye on at the top of the order. They can run. Combined 42 stolen bases between the two of them, as the right-hander Imai works to the set. And instead, he throws over with a sidearm delivery to the first baseman. Diving back in time is Shudo. So Momori, the runner over at first base, as he establishes his lead. Sorry, check that. Shudo establishes his lead. Momori at the plate here. Really crowds the box. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up over in foul territory. Drifting over is David McKinnon, but he's going to watch that one sail into the seats. And that's going to be no balls and 1 strike here to Momori. Interesting that Momori would be hacking at that first pitch. We would think that they would try to get Shudo into scoring position. So Momori in the hole at 0-1. Shudo establishes his lead over at first. He's got 1 foot on the turf and 1 foot in the dirt. As here comes the offering now, the 0-1 pitch to Momori. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. As we said, we'll probably have to set up a couple of streams tomorrow night and then pick the one that's going to end up working. Hopefully we can get something to work out of that. If we go and do a preview, last night we had a real difficult time getting anything that we were calling. And of course, tonight we'll probably have everything that we didn't have, which was unfortunate. We saw the Carp and the Swallows were going at it. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded softly over to third, and it is thrown to second base. It is dropped by Tonosaki, but the second base umpire has ruled it that it was on the exchange. So that's going to go down as a fielder's choice. So Momori reaches safe firstly. It's going to erase Shudo 5-4 on the fielder's choice. And he's gone for the first out of the inning, and that will bring up the right fielder, Yuki Yanagita. Hawks are looking to complete the sweep in this series. They've won both the first 2 games. The first game we called the other night ended up almost 5 hours in length. It went 11 innings, and it ended up being an 8-4 final. The Hawks scored 4 in the first and 4 in the 11th. Were shut out in between, and the Lions were able to chip back into the game to take it to extra innings, but couldn't do anything in the 11th. There was a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0 to Yanagita. Just the depth of the pitching and the ability that the Lions have, they just don't have the depth that the Hawks do. Hawks could be a very dangerous team in the playoffs, especially once the Buffaloes clinch. They'll be more than likely the Hawks and the Marines. There's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. The count now runs even to Yanagita, 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Yanagita, the left-handed hitting right fielder of the Hawks. As Kondo waits on deck. Yanagita waiting here on the offering from Amai. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Yanagita. It's a bit of a race still in the Pacific League for the third and final playoff spot. The Lions are not mathematically out of it, but they might as well be gone. They are 7.5 back. As Amai throws over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Momori. 7.5 games adrift are the Lions from the Hawks. Of course, the Hawks here can bury them away here. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. Turning around and making the catch at the edge of the warning tack is the right fielder Hiruma. And that is going to retire Yanagita for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone, and that's going to leave it up to Kazuki Kondo. And as we mentioned before, the ball games here is the Tigers have 1 game with that magic number to clinch first place in the Central League. And the Buffaloes, of course, just need a little bit more help. They have a little bit more to do, but their magic number off the top of my head was, I believe, 10 going into last night's affair, and that has been narrowed down as well. We'll look at that here in just a moment. There's a fastball that's taken outside. The throw goes down to second, and it's going to be in time, and Momori is going to be gunned down. That's going to be caught stealing 2-6 on the putout. We're going to wait here because Momori seems to think that he's got under the slide. He wants his manager to take a look at it. He's convinced that he is safe. So let's see if Momori is correct, as the umpires are going to go under the hood to see if he has reached there safely. That pitch to Kondo was outside, but we're going to wait here to see what the result was. The magic number, as we were talking about a moment ago for the Buffaloes, is 8. Their magic number is 8, combination of their wins and Marine losses as of right now. As we get a look at the replay, the throw down to Genda short hopped him, and it looked like the tag was rather high. Oh boy, I don't know if Momori's going to win this one or not. He seems to think that he got under. We got a different angle of it here. Well, maybe he does have a case. It looks like on that angle that Genda didn't get him in time, but we'll see what the umpires have to say when their angle comes back. So maybe Momori's got a case. As we'll have to wait, as they're going to review that multiple times over. But the Tigers are in first place, and obviously they've got a magic number of 1 in the Central, so they will win the Central Division. The question is the other 3 playoff teams, the Carp, the Bay Stars, and the Giants, all battling it out for those next 3 spots. The Carp are in the driver's seat. They've got 13. They're 13 games behind the Tigers. They got 3-game lead on the Bay Stars, and they're 4.5 ahead of the Giants. So the Carp right now are in the driver's seat. They've just got to keep winning, and everybody else is going to get themselves into trouble because they'll run out of time and space. Bay Stars are 3 games over 500 at 64-61. They have a 1.5 game lead over the Giants. So that is where that series is going to get to be particularly interesting. If those 2 teams go head-to-head against each other for that third and final spot. The Swallows are done, and they are at 28.5 games behind the Tigers, and the Dragons have been done almost since the opener of the season. They find themselves 31 games adrift of the Tigers and 13.5 behind the Giants for 4th place. Here come the umpires as they're going to make the ruling, and they're still going to go up with the right hand. They're going to say Momori is out. He's caught stealing, and that's going to go in the books. 2-6 for the third out of the inning. And that will do it here for the Hawks in their half of the first inning. Well, they had no runs in the inning. They did have a hit. There were no errors and nobody left the board. We're through a half inning. Your score is the Hawks 0 and the Lions coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back. Whether you listen live or on delay, we do appreciate you all for being here with us. Hang tight. We'll be right back after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole. A little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play. But you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Appreciate you, Matt. That's Matt Hollis. Be sure to check him out after the ball game. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Yuta Mori has completed his warm-up tosses, and he is ready to get back on the hill here for the Hawks, making his 5th start of the year. He had made a start on September the 3rd, and before that, we had to go all the way back to May as the one-time closer of the Hawks, now converted starter, is back on the mound. He went over 100 pitches in his last outing. He's going to get an opportunity to face Sosuke Genda, Shuta Tonosaki, and Takuya Haruma to get things going here for the Lions in their half of the first inning. Genda batting .263 on the season with no homers and 18 runs driven in. The first pitch from Mori is a breaking ball that misses down for a ball, and the count is quickly 1-0. Genda getting the start at shortstop. He missed quite a bit of time at the beginning of the year for the Lions. He played in the Classic. He was the Japanese shortstop, then came back home and missed some time. There's a fastball swung on, grounded softly over to second. Mori fields it as he moves toward the bag. He throws to first. That is going to retire Genda on a ground out, 4-3 for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away. That's going to bring up the second baseman, Shuta Tonosaki. Well, for Tonosaki, he's hitting .265 on the season. He's got 12 homers and 51 runs batted in. As he steps to the plate here, he had that opportunity to turn the double play, but he dropped the ball on the exchange in the first inning. Well, I have to say Mori would have been a tough one to double up because he does move well. Here's the first offering. It is a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Tonosaki, we said earlier in the year, had a chance for a 2020 season, although that stalled with the home run department. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted foul into the netting down the right field line. The count now goes to 0-2. Tonosaki has 24 stolen bases, but just doesn't have enough juice in the stick to get him to that level this year. Keep an eye on that as he could be a 2020 man for the Lions next season. So no balls and 2 strikes as he finds him in the hole here to Mori. Takuya Kai looks like he wants something up in the zone. So let's see what Mori has to deliver. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball up, but just misses outside. And that count now goes to 1-2. Interesting to see if they're going to come back with something low here, because sometimes they do that. Change the eye level of the hitters. Go with something up high to come back and try to bury something down. And be able to get the hitter to chase. There's a fastball that just misses low. Count goes to 2-2. We saw this the other night that the pitcher for the Carp last night, Daichi Serra, was not getting the calls at the knees. So 2 balls and 2 strikes is Tonosaki. And it makes it a difficult outing if you're not getting the low pitches for the pitchers. There's a split finger pitch that bounces up to the plate, and the count now runs to 3-2. The Hawks tonight are sporting their black tops with the white pants. A little bit different look. The Lions are in their all whites, the traditional with the blue trim. So here comes the 3-2 offering as Mori works to the set position, and now he kicks and fires. Fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, Tonosaki didn't like the call, and he stands there and has a couple of words with the home plate umpire. He is going to slowly walk back to the dugout as he goes down on strikes for the second out of the inning. So 2 Lions up and 2 Lions down, and that's going to leave it up to Takuya Haruma. Well, for Haruma on the season, he's hitting .256. He's got a couple of homers and 19 runs driven in. Got the start in right field here tonight, as Mori is ready to go back to work again. Picks up his sign from his catcher, Kai. He kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball that just misses down, and the count is 1-0. Defensively tonight for the Hawks, from left to right field, it is Yannick Amachi is in left. In center field, it is Shudo. The right fielder is Yanagita, with Nakamura at first, Momori at second, Imamiya at short, and the third baseman is Nomura. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's now even at 1-1. And of course, the battery of Mori and Kai lay it out here for the Hawks. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Haruma, 2 gone here in the first, as the right-hander Mori kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that catches the inside corner for a called strike, and now the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mori is not your traditional starter. He's a bit on the diminutive side, not a big starter, but thrust into the starting rotation did the Hawks do it this year. There's a fastball that just misses under the hands, and the count goes to 2-2 on Haruma. It's more of a stocky build. He was an 8th inning arm for the Hawks a couple of years ago, and then he was their closer. Of course, he and Levon Moinello feeding off of each other at the back end. But they became, I don't want to say expendable, but certainly with Roberto Osuna on the ball club, it gave them some options to move Mori into the starting role, as that fastball was fouled away, and the count is going to remain at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Haruma. We will make an announcement tomorrow as far as which game we will add to the slate tomorrow night. I haven't decided on that one yet. There's a breaking ball that is down. It just squirts away from Kai, and the count is 3-2 to Haruma. Hopefully we'll be able to get everybody up to speed with the action tomorrow when we do make that announcement. We'll try to look at the matchups. I did take a look at the pitching matchups for tomorrow night, trying to get an idea and a gauge of maybe who might be of interest to call. As I said, we'll have to set up a dual feed. There's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. Haruma goes in the books. That's the second strikeout by Mori. And that is going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the first inning. They go quietly, 1, 2, 3, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're through 1 complete in Seibu. Your score is the Hawks 0 and the Lions 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the top of the second inning when we return after this. Appreciate you for jumping in here with us tonight, whether you listen live or on delay. It's great to have you. We'll be right back in a few. Nothing, Hawks and the Lions. Will be back in 30 with all the action right after this. Welcome back, everybody. We got our friend Titus in the house tonight to keep us company, as it is a sparse crowd at the Balluna Dome, and it's a sparse crowd in our live feed tonight. But that's the way it goes sometimes. We'll gut it out through this one, as we do have the feed to bring to you here tonight. It is going to be the heart of the batting order to come up for the Hawks here in their half of the second. It'll be Kondo, Nakamura, and Imamiya. Here against the right-hander Imai, who goes back to work. 13 pitches in the first inning for the Lions righty, as he drops a breaking ball in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Kondo hitting .300 on the season, even Steven. He's got 21 homers and 78 runs driven in, as the former Hokkaido Nippon Ham fighter. As the right-hander Imai kicks and delivers, it's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-1. Our friend God is Great says, no more Calbee chips with baseball cards or Topps Japan edition until next year. I wonder, is that Series 2 already long gone? Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that just misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. It was funny, pretty much every day, I think I ended up buying about, I don't know, maybe 20 bags of chips. I was just looking at the stuff today, and ironically, everything that I opened, I did not pull out a base star. Not a single base star in everything that I opened up. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count is 3-1. The Calbee chips that we pulled, we were able to get the Series 2 was what they had on sale, both at the Lawson's and 7-Eleven, as we would go in and grab them as we could. Sometimes the grocery stores, Life would carry them as well. There's a breaking ball that misses down. It's going to be ball 4, and Condo's aboard with a leadoff walk. So just as we said at the top of the stream, walks killed the Lions last night with 9 in the ball game. That is the first free pass issued here tonight by the starter Imai. That's going to bring up the first baseman Akira Nakamura. So on top of that, when I went before, they had chips a few years ago, over the holiday period in late December, early January. And what they had for chips at that time was the Samurai Japan. And I thought that was kind of cool that they put them, and I was buying the chips up like crazy there as well. I had a bunch of Samurai Japan players once upon a time. Here's the first offering to Nakamura. It's a fastball taken right down the middle at 94 miles an hour for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Our friend God is Great says, "You're lucky you got those, though. People are searching for them, but as of Tuesday, no more." That was a short print run then, if people were still hunting for them, because that's approximately, I would say, maybe about a week or so after. So they probably were out for less than a month. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1. So that is kind of cool that we were able to get that. We were able to get some of the star cards. Got a couple of Roki Suzakis. The Roki Suzakis are the ones that I think are, if I'm not mistaken, are about the most expensive in the set. If you got the parallel, you're really laughing. But as well as but they would have the signature, the facsimile signature card. But we didn't get any of those. Here comes the 1-1. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Akira Nakamura. Nakamura to be followed by Kenta Imamiya in this half inning. Our friend God is Great said he started buying them in March, but couldn't. Today I can't find them. Yeah, they had the Series 1 out that were earlier, and then the Series 2 came out, and now you can't get them anywhere, says Titus. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted over the netting. It's going to reach the seats. That is going to keep the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nakamura. Defensive alignment tonight for the Lions as we go from left to right in the outfield. It is Kishi in left. The center fielder is Ito, and in right field it is Hiruma. Around the horn from first to third, it is McKinnon at first. The second baseman's Tonosaki, Genda at short, and at third base it's Sato. The battery is of Imai and Koga. There's a fastball swung on. This time it's lifted foul into the netting down the left field line, and that's going to keep the count again at 1-2. Our friend Titus says that he opened about 90 to 100 packs since March. Yeah, and really the bags of chips aren't that big in terms of stuff, so that's why I would buy 2. Buying 2 was like getting 1 bag of chips here in North America. And so I'd be swallowing those down. So I'd get myself some Picari Sweat and a couple of bags of chips, and we were good to go. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball that swung on again, lifted into the netting down the left field line. Actually, that is going to get over the netting and into the seats. It keeps the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Akira Nakamura. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nakamura. Suki Kondo is the runner at first. Nobody gone here in the top of the second inning. As Nakamura batting from the left side. Waiting here on the offering from the right-hander Imai. We haven't once yet tonight seen Imai lose his hat, but that seems to be his mantra when he pitches. His hair flopping all over the place. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded on one hop to short. Genda fields it over to second for one. Back to first. And that is going to be a 6-4-3 double play, as that is going to retire Nakamura on the back end, Kondo on the lead side. So 2 in the books here now for the right-hander Amai, and that's going to leave it all up to the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya. That's not going to make the manager Fujimoto very happy. Both the leadoff hitters in the first 2 innings have reached base, and now they can't get it done. Our friend God is Great says next year they're talking about putting them in other types of the chips. I hope so. He's bored with eating these salty ones. Yeah, I got to agree with you. There's a fastball ticket for a called strike. The count is 0-1. I would definitely be more engaged if they put it over a variety of flavors. Either that or I have to go out and buy the dip. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Imamiya. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to make the journey across next year again. And if I do, I might be for a short period of time and maybe not into Tokyo or Osaka, but maybe into a smaller region, either into Hokkaido or right over to Fukuoka, as that fastball swung on and fouled away. Count is going to remain at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. But that's my thought process on that. I haven't quite decided on anything in terms of travel for 2024. Everything is all up in the air and could be something to go. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And Imamiya goes in the books for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Hawks in their half of the second. They had no runs in the inning. There were no hits. There were no errors. And there was nobody left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom half of the second inning. Your score is the Hawks 0 and the Lions 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. We appreciate you guys for being here and listening in with us here. We'll be right back and chat it up with our friend Titus when we get back in just a few. We appreciate you guys for listening with us here.
Steve here from outside his refrigerator that a lot of you like so much. So let's go inside. There's my hot sauces and other stuff. Let's see what we can do here for Freddie. Awesome game, Freddie. Keep up the good work. We love the baseball. So why don't we rip open Garbage Pail Kids just for you and the listeners. Large Marge, she belongs in the fridge. Liberty Libby, well, she belongs down here on the beer. Apple Corey, hey, he's pretty cool. Put him on that beer up here. And Target Margaret. All Series 3 Chrome Garbage Pail Kids. Freddie, back to you in the game, and everybody else, please enjoy everything he does and tip him nicely.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher after the game. Be sure to go check him out. He has got all kinds of crazy, wacky things across his channel. It is going to be the heart of the batting order coming up for the Lions. That means David McKinnon, Takeya Nakamura, and Oriusi Sato to come to bat here to face the starter Yuto Mori. And the first pitch delivered to McKinnon's a fastball swung on and lined into left center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Picking it up is the center fielder Shuto, and he fires it back in. And so McKinnon is aboard with a single. And that is going to bring up the designated hitter, Takeya Nakamura. Well, for Nakamura, he's hitting 272 on the year. He's got 16 homers and 37 runs driven in. Nakamura, the big fella we said the other night, who is in his 40th year, has really had himself a renaissance season this year for the Lions, and they needed it because the star first baseman Yamakawa, who led the Pacific League in home runs last year, has punched his ticket out of Saitama. Here comes the first offering. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. When I was in Saitama, there was not a single sniff of Yamakawa anywhere. They've basically taken off every billboard. The only thing you can do is get him in the team baseball cards that Epic and BBM produced. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. but you really can't get anything else that's related to him anywhere. They've just basically erased him right from their whole group until that pending assault charge takes care of itself. But I just don't see him in a Lion uniform ever again. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-1. Our friend Titus says, come to Yamagata. Well, one of the things I was talking about with a buddy of mine is he is a cyclist, a big-time cyclist, as he likes to do stuff in Europe. And he was talking about maybe packaging up his cycle and bringing it to Japan. There is a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field, moving back at the edge of the warning track, and underneath it is the left fielder, Yanagamachi. And he makes the catch, and that's going to retire Nakamura for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Ryushi Sato. So with that in mind, thinking about if I go back, Tokyo or Osaka only spending maybe a very short time in both or either of those locations. But then for me to be able to extend myself and to be able to go to some of the more rural places and possibly even riding the bike from location to location. But if I did that, I'd have to pack significantly different. But I also would like to spend some time in Korea next year, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Sato. So Korea would be the next adventure on the hit list, where if we went to Japan, it would be for maybe a week or so, and then maybe do the other 10 or 11 days in Korea. There's a fastball that swung on, and it's lifted foul down the right field line, and the count now goes to 0 balls and 2 strikes on Sato. McKinnon, the runner at first with 1 gone. Sato batting here. The Lions crowd is not a strong crowd tonight. We were watching the game last night, and it was a sparse crowd. And, of course, it is 2 nights ago was a sparse crowd, and it was even less last night, as there's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-2. That's usually when the camera angles become much lower because they don't want to show you the empty seats. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. The magic of television, that is for sure. So here comes the 1-2 offering as Morey kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down. And the count now goes even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sato has been, what I would say, struggling at times. He is hitting .275. He's had a decent run over the last little bit, but he has not locked down the everyday third baseman's job. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is off the ground, and it has eaten up the third baseman, Nomura, and it gets over top of him into shallow left field as they throw the ball back in, and that is going to be going to have to see if they're going to rule that as a hit to Sato. Safe at second base is McKinnon. Going to wait to see what the official scores have to say. We'll get a look on the replay of this. This ball was absolutely blistered. And as we take a look, he was unable to come up with it. I think they'll probably rule that as a base hit on 2 accounts. One, it's the home team that's batting, so the score is probably likely going to give it. The second part, that's a very difficult play to make. And for those of you who don't know the field surface, it's all turf in the infield except where the bases, around the bases, they're cutouts. And when the ball hits the dirt, it usually can stay down or can take some crazy hops. And that's exactly what happened there. Looked like the ball stayed down, and then when it hit the dirt, it took this wicked hop. There was a first pitch breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Kishi. So again, we'll have to wait to see what the official scorer has to say, but in our books, I believe that's going to be ruled as a base hit. We'll confirm that for Sato here in just a moment. So 0 balls and 1 strike to Junichiro Kishi as he takes a fastball outside for a ball, and the count is 1-1. Kishi hitting .192 on the year with 3 homers and 10 runs driven in. He is in the revolving door of the outfield positions that the Lions have been forced to use. And I say that because nobody has really locked down the spot. Mark Payton, one would have thought, would have been an everyday guy. He really hasn't had the this year been the everyday guy they thought he would be. There's a breaking ball down, and the count is 2-1. Ito is getting the opportunity in the outfield tonight. We've seen Haruma more recently on a regular basis playing in right field. But as we say, a lot of the players that have been with the Seibu Lions this year, it has been a bit of a revolving door. Other players that have played in the outfield for them and have included Kuriyama, who's on the bench tonight. As there's a fastball swung on, this ball is lifted into right field, and this ball is going to get down for a base hit. Yanagita fields it, and stopping at third is going to be McKinnon, and that is going to load the bases. As that is a base hit here by Kishi. That puts everybody at a base here right now, as we've got McKinnon at third, Sato at second, and Kishi, the runner, at first, and that's going to bring up the center fielder, Ito. Well, as I continue on with that outfield, I don't want to call it a logjam, but it's really a mess. You've got Kikuto Wakabayashi, Shohei Suzuki, Yuji Kaneko, Takumi Kuriyama, Haruma, of course, we talked about earlier, Ito. And then you think of some of the others, Kishi getting an opportunity up from the farm, Manaya Nishikawa, he's on the bench tonight, Mark Payton as well. So they've run through about 8 different outfielders and really haven't locked down anybody regular in the positions. Or I guess it's kind of like the St. Louis Cardinal outfield, where you're just hoping that somebody will step up and take over. There's a breaking ball that misses outside to Ito, and the count is 1-0. We still didn't get the update whether or not that was considered to be a base hit. We'll try to get that for you in just a moment. See what the official scorer had to say. It does look like they allowed that as a hit, or gave that as a hit to the batter Sato. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right center field. Moving back at the edge of the warning track and making the catch is the right fielder Yanagita. Tagging up at first and second and advancing is both Kishi and Sato. So that's going to be a sacrifice fly for Ito. He drove the ball deep. He's going to get himself an RBI. It's going to bring home David McKinnon with the first run of the ball game. They threw that ball into second base, and it was a close play there on Kishi. He almost got himself thrown out. And if he would have got himself thrown out, David McKinnon would have needed to have tagged to be able to score. We're going to take a look at this here. McKinnon was not running particularly hard coming home. He was safe at second base, and we saw that when we were in Saitama a couple of weeks ago when they were playing the Fighters. It was Shuta Tonosaki was dogging it coming home from third, and he didn't score a run in that 7-0 rout. It would have been a run that would have cut the lead at the time to, I believe, 4-1 for the Fighters. And he wasn't running fast, and they ended up throwing the trail side runner out, and they didn't score the run. That was the third out of the inning. Well, that's going to bring up Yuta Koga to the plate. He's hitting .212. He's got a couple of homers and 16 RBIs. As he bats here from the right side against the right-handed throwing Mori. As Mori works himself to the set position, and now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down. And the count is quickly 1-0. We have on our feed here, we've got a fruit fly that is getting himself in the way. We're going to have to attack that one vigorously. Get off our screen. So 1 ball and no strikes to Koga. As the right-handed hitting catcher waits here on the offering from Mori, who works set to the belt, and here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-0. Sosuke Genda waits his turn on deck as he is the leadoff hitter for the Lions. So 2 balls and no strikes. Mori working to the set. He's got the base open at first, but one would think he wants to get this hitter here. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. It's going to get all the way to the wall. That's going to clear the bases. Rounding first and heading to second is Koga, and he's got himself a 2-run double. And the Lions have given themselves a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the second inning. 2 RBIs there for Koga. That's going to give him 18 on the season. Ryusuke Sato is going to come in to score the second run of the ball game. And Junichiro Kishi, who had that heads-up tag-up play to get him over to second base, has also scored a run, and that's the third run of the ball game here for the Lions. So the Lions up 3-0 on the Hawks here in the last half of the second inning. And that'll bring up the top of the order in Sosuke Genda. As Genda comes to the bat 0 for 1 tonight. He's grounded to second, his only trip to the plate. So Genda comes to the dish, as Koga is the runner at first. One would have to think that Genda, in a normal situation, might be thinking to try to be able to slap that the other way, but we'll see what he's got planned up here. There's a fastball that misses outside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander ready to go back to work again. He works to the set position. He checks the runner at second and now delivers. It's a changeup that drops in for a called strike. That was an interesting pitch. A lot of backdoor movement on that one, and it hung up in the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike it is to Genda. It caught me a little bit off guard, too. We don't see that on an everyday basis. So here comes the 1-1 pitch as Mori works to the set, checks the runner at second, and now delivers. Fastball that just misses inside. The count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Mori again gets the sign from his catcher, Takuya Kai. Kai behind the dish in every game of this series. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul down the left field line. Now the count runs even at 2-2 on Genda. Talking to a friend of mine in Japan, and he was saying that up until maybe 5-6 years ago, it was unheard of that the second team would play a university team where they would cross over or scrimmage. But that is what they're doing now. They've started to change in some of their ways in Japan, which is kind of neat to see. There's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. And Genda goes down on strikes. He's out for the third out of the inning, but not till there was damage done. They send 7 hitters to the plate through the Lions, and they get 3 runs in the inning on the benefit of 4 hits. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now moving to the top of the third inning. Your score is the Saitama Seibu Lions 3 and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks no score. Stick around, everybody. Whether you listen live or on delay, we appreciate you guys being here. We'll be right back after this with all the information for you. But first, our friend Steve Rademacher.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. In turn, we support Steve Rademacher. It is going to be the 7 and 8 and 9 hitters to come to bat here for the Hawks in their half of the third inning, and that means it's going to be Yanagamachi, Nomura, and Kai to face Imai here. The big blow in the last half inning was the 2-run double by Koga. That followed up the sacrifice fly to right field by Ito. 3 runs driven in for the Hawks in that part. So that is where we stand. So Tetsuro Yanagamachi, Nomura, and Kai to come to bat here to face Imai in the third inning. As we said to everybody else, we're glad you guys could make it in here with us tonight, whether you do listen live or on delay. We appreciate your support. Here's the first pitch from Imai. It's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Yanagamachi. Yanagamachi hitting .266 on the year with no homers and 29 runs driven in. He had a couple of RBIs in the first game of this series. As the pitch is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We will try to make an announcement as far as which game we will call tomorrow, as there's a fastball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 1-2. But we may end up putting 2 games up and then picking the one that we would have to give a call to, but we're not sure how that's going to play out just quite yet. So here comes the offering from the righty. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-2. Yanagamachi. Imai so far in this one here has been able to wiggle himself out of some jams, but he has allowed the leadoff hitter to reach base in each of the first 2 innings of work. Here's the 2-2 pitch. As he kicks and delivers, it's a breaking ball that's down. They appeal over to the third base umpire, but they say Yanagamachi didn't go. That's going to run the count full to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. The first couple of games of the series were Senasuge behind the plate. Now Yuta Koga gets the nod. There's a fastball. Take it for a called third strike on the inside corner. Oh, Yanagamachi stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 1. That's strikeout number 2 in the books for Imai. And back-to-back strikeouts now in a row. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Asami Nomura. Well, for Nomura, he's hitting a .164 on the year. He's got 3 homers and 7 RBIs. He is in his second season. He is not enjoying the type of year that he had as a rookie. There's a first pitch, split finger pitch he can't hold up on. He swings that and misses, and the count is 0-1. Nomura last year with the Hawks as a rookie hit 10 homers and drove in 25 runs while batting .239. Not bad for his rookie year as a 25-year-old. This year, there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. This year here, never really got on track. Only has 80 at-bats entering tonight's fray. Has 3 homers and 7 RBIs on the year. As we said, only hitting a .164. Here's the pitch. And that's a split finger pitch, waved out and missed. And that is going to retire Nomura. He goes down on strikes for the second out of the inning. So 3 strikeouts in a row now by Imai. That's going to leave it all up to the catcher, Takuya Kai. Well, we never did find the answer to our trivia question the other night that we kind of threw out there. We had Takuya Kai had struck out 4 times in the ballgame the other night. He was 0 for 6 in that 11-inning affair. And we were trying to figure out who was the last NPB player to strike out 5 times in a game. But our statistical research team here at Last Raps Baseball was not able to find it. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. Moving back onto the warning track and making the catch is Kishi. And that is going to do it, as Takuya Kai is going to be retired for the third out of the inning. So they go in order here to the Hawks once again. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. Now moving to the bottom half of the third inning, your score is the Lions 3 and the Hawks no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few. Appreciate you guys here listening in. Whether you listen live or on delay, we'll be right back.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course, I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But Freddie's coming back. I gotta go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. The Lions erupted for 3 runs in their last half inning in the second and have a 3-0 lead as we cruise to the bottom of the third over the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. 9 up and 9 retired in a row by Imai, although he has allowed a hit and a walk in this one. His help of the double play and a caught stealing has been help in efficiency for him. It is going to be Tonosaki, Haruma, and McKinnon to come to bat here for the Lions in their half of the third inning. Tonosaki 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out looking his first time up. So he will come to bat here to face Yuto Mori, who is on for his third inning of work. As we said, there were 4 hits in that last half inning for the Lions. 3 singles and the double by was what had accounted for the 3 runs for the Lions. Our friend Titus says, yeah, he did much better as a rookie. And we were talking about Isami Nomura, the third baseman for the Hawks. And interestingly, in some ways, when you think of Nobuhiro Matsuda, who the longtime third baseman for the Hawks, he left, he got a job with the Yomiuri Giants in the twilight of his career. Ironically, he probably could have held his own at third base for the Fukuoka Ball Club this year and been okay. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Nobody has really stepped up in that position to take it over, as they have had some injuries, have had the Fukuoka Ball Club. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball that just misses inside. The count now goes even to 1-1. When I think of that, I think of the other signings, the international signings. Freddie Galvis has been a disaster. Willens Astudillo has not been very good, as that fastball is taken at the knees for a called strike. And the count is 1-2 to Tonosaki. And then, of course, Richard Sunagawa had some opportunities, but he wasn't able to take advantage of the ones that he's been given. So here comes the offering from the Randy Mori. It's a fastball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. The count remains at 1-2. The import players this year for the Hawks have been pretty much a disaster. Courtney Hawkins hasn't done anything for them to speak of. As we said, Astudillo and Galvis, not so much. And then, of course, they even brought back Alfredo de Spagna, who really hasn't done much for them either. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Tonosaki goes in the books for the second time tonight via the strikeout. That is going to bring up the right fielder, Takuya Haruma. On the pitching side of the ledger, however, Joe Gunkel, the import, has been decent, the former Hanshin Tiger. Levon Moinello, of course, has missed a lot of time, the Cuban. He has had some injury, and he has been great over his career. So it's basically been a domestic team with very little help from the imports. There's a fastball swung on and missed by Haruma, and the count is quickly 0-1. Haruma struck out his first time up. He's 0 for 1 in this one. His average is slipped to 254. Batting here on the left side against Mori. There's a fastball swung on it. It's popped up behind home plate. Giving chase is Kai, but he's not going to get there as it hits the netting on the way back down, and the count now is 0-2 to Haruma. So no balls and 2 strikes. Haruma to be followed by David McKinnon, who got the party started in the second inning with that leadoff single. McKinnon has played much better baseball over the last month and change. As we said, he started off fairly decent. Saw his average slip to the Mendoza line. Now he has got it back up into the 250 mark. Here's a fastball swung on. It's grounded softly to second. Mamori fields it. He throws to first. And Haruma is retired on a ground out 4-3 for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to leave it up to the first baseman, David McKinnon. Well, for McKinnon, he's 1 for 1 tonight. As we said, he had that single to get things going in the second inning. He came around to score on the sacrifice fly by Ito. He scored the first run of the ball game. And then, of course, Fukuoka came in and cleared the bases with a double. That has put the Lions up in front 3-0. So Maury ready to go again as he works to the set position and now delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to McKinnon. McKinnon getting an opportunity to play it. Makes you wonder how he finishes out this stretch here. If he gets himself another year in Saitama, or if he's going to decide to come back to North America. There's a fastball swung on, grounded over to short, fielded by Imamiya. He throws to first. It's going to retire McKinnon on a ground out 6-3. And that is going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the third inning. They had no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 3 complete. Your score is the Lions 3 and the Hawks no score. Stick around, everybody. The middle frames are coming up when we return after this. Appreciate you guys for listening in with us tonight. We'll be right back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It's a 3-0 lead for the Lions. We'll be back in 30 seconds with all the action. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the order to come to bat here for the Hawks in their half of the fourth inning. That means Shuto, Mamori, and Yanagita to come to bat to face Tetsuya Imai, who is ready to begin his fourth inning of work. 39 pitches for the right-hander through his first 3 innings on the hill. He did not look sharp to begin the ball game, as each of the first 2 innings he allowed the leadoff hitter to reach base. But he does now have 3 strikeouts to his name. He's only walked 1 batter, and he's had the assistance of a double play, as is a caught stealing by the catcher to help him only have to face the minimum here as we move to the 4th. The first pitch is a breaking ball delivered to Shuto that misses inside for ball 1. Counts 1-0. Shuto singled to begin the ball game. The only hit tonight so far for the Hawks. He was erased in a fielder's choice, as the pitch is a fastball that catches the inside corner for called strike, and the count now goes to 1-1. That last pitch was at 93 miles an hour, and it had a lot of arm side run. It looked like it was going to be inside, and it darted across and caught the inside corner of the plate. So here comes the 1-1 offering now from Imai, who kicks and delivers a breaking ball that is waved out and missed. He took a little bit of something off that one. The count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Imai shaking off his catcher Koga here, and he doesn't like what he's getting. And now he's ready to go. Here comes the offering, the 1-2 on the way. And it is a fastball swung on and missed. Shuto went for a chase, and he swings and misses at that one. He is gone for the first out of the inning. Strikeout number 4 in the books for Imai, so he is really starting to settle in now. That is going to be 8 in a row, not conventionally, but 7 in a row now retired by him. And if we said maybe the unconventional way, we can add an extra 1 or 2 onto that as well. So 10 batters faced and 10 batters has been the minimum for Imai. As we said, with a couple of base runners on the in-between erased in double plays and caught stealing. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count is 0-1 to Momori. Momori bounced into the fielder's choice back in the first inning. He was one of the victims erased on a caught stealing, as Momori was gunned down, trying to steal second. That was the third out of the first inning. So no balls and 1 strike as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down. The count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. We're going to try to get ourselves, as we said, tomorrow night, we're going to do one of the games, but we're going to have to set up a couple of feeds. And which game we'll do, we'll cancel out the other feed, and we'll see how that works. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2. So be sure tomorrow night to bookmark the channel, as we'll have both set up, but hopefully we can catch one of the feeds. Maybe we have to set up 3 feeds. I don't know, but we're certainly going to do that for sure. We tried to do the Giants and the Tigers last night. We could not get a feed for that one. Here comes the pitch. But yet tonight there is one. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. Momori goes down on strike. Strikeout number 5 now for Imai. He is cruising. 2 gone here in the inning. It's going to leave it up to the right fielder, Yuki Yanagita. As I'm kicking myself, as I say, we are able to get the feed tonight for, of all things, the Giants and the Tigers. We wanted that one last night. Couldn't get a feed to save our life. But yet, that is alive and well. It looks like that as we take a peek in, it is Sato who is hitting at the plate, the big third baseman / outfielder. So the first pitch delivered to Yanagita is taken for a ball, and the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. There is a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul over into the third base side. The count now is 1-1. Looks like the Tigers are threatening there against the Giants. They have the bases loaded with nobody out and a 3-1 count on Sato with nowhere to put him. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Here's the 1-1 to Yanagita. As the right-hander Imai delivers, it is a 2-seamer that misses outside. The count now goes to 2-1. The 3-1 pitch that was delivered to Sato, he swung at that one and fouled that one away. So a 3-2 count there. It is a full house at the Cochin Stadium. That series against the Giants is a sellout. Got a great crowd on hand as the breaking ball is delivered to Yanagita. It misses upstairs. The count now is 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. And what do you know, Sato, the big power-hitting left-handed third baseman, goes down on strikes as he swung and missed. So the Yomiuri Giant pitcher trying to wiggle himself out of the jam. Here's the 3-1 to Yanagita, and it's a breaking ball that misses outside. That's going to be ball 4. Yanagita's going to get himself a 2-out walk. That's the second free pass issued tonight by the right-hander Imai. And that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Kensuke Kondo. So we'll keep an eye on that Giant-Tiger game to see if the Giants right-hander can wiggle himself out of it, but we'll go back to that in a little bit, as we have other fish to fry here in this game between the Lions and the Hawks. So Kondo comes to the plate. He is officially does not have it at bat tonight. He walked his first time up, but he was erased in a double play in the second inning. As the right-hander Imai kicks and delivers, it is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Kondo batting .300 on the season with those 21 homers and 78 runs batted in. He's enjoying himself a nice first year with the Fukuoka Ball Club. Right-hander Imai works to the set, checks the runners, and now he pitches. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats over on the third base side, and that's going to run the count now to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Kondo. As we take a quick peek back in at that game with the Tigers, it looks like Sheldon Noisy is coming to bat. So we didn't get a chance to see how the last hitter fared. Still bases loaded. It is Noisy at the plate with one gone. So Noisy must have followed Sato. They must have had a conference of some variety. There's a pitch that misses outside to Kondo, and the count is now 1-2. Noisy, we were talking about last night when we were looking in at the game and the game between the Carp and the Swallows, but we said that Noisy really hasn't given the power to the Tigers. Although he has produced some runs and he's got a decent average, he hasn't produced the pop and the power one would expect from the North American players. So 1-2 strikes it is to Kondo as the right-hander Imai works to the set. We'll keep our eye on that Tiger-Giant game that's going on. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is hit, and it's going to get past the first baseman, McKinnon, into shallow right field. Going all the way around to third is Yanagita, and he is going to reach there safely, and that is going to be a base hit more than likely for Kondo. Yanagita is going to get all the way around to third, and as we peek in at the Giants, Noisy grounded into a double play to end the inning, and the Tigers had the bases loaded with nobody out, weren't able to cash in. Unfortunate for them. Well, Kondo's got himself a knock. Well, I do believe it's going to be a base hit, as that is got by the first baseman, McKinnon, as he had dove back to the bag. That puts runners at the corners with two gone, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Akira Nakamura. Well, for Nakamura, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He is grounded into a double play his only time up. So that game between the Giants and the Tigers locked at zeros as they'll go to the fifth inning. We'll get you caught up on the out-of-town scoreboard in just a few. As here comes the first offering to Nakamura as the right-hander Imai works to the set. And now he kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 no strikes. Mori up and throwing in front of the Hawks dugout, as they do in the Japanese league frequently, getting himself ready to get back into the ball game. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now is even to Nakamura at 1-1. And just as a reminder to everybody here, after the fifth inning, we like to take our what we call our proverbial Japanese halftime. That's where they have the extended break in the Pacific League. We'll go refresh our beverage so that we can continue on the call to you folks here tonight. As we said, whether you listen live or on delay, we do appreciate everybody who comes in to listen. So here comes the 1-1 pitch to Nakamura as the right-hander Imai delivers. It's a breaking ball that just misses down and in. Imai didn't like the pitch. He jumped in the air a little bit. That's going to run the count now to 2-1. It was a close pitch. So 2 strike it is. So Imai ready to go back to work as he gets his sign from his catcher, Koga. He nods in agreement, and now he works to the belt. And here comes the 2-1. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded up the middle. It's a base hit. That's going to score a run. Yanagita is going to come across with the first run of the game for the Hawks. Kondo's going to stop at second, and Nakamura's got himself an RBI single. And the Hawks are on the board here in the top of the fourth inning as they've cut the lead to 3-1. So 3-1 now the scoreline, and the shortstop Kenta Imamiya to come to bat. Well, all of this damage has come with 2 out, where Imai looked like he was just starting to cruise. He had struck out Shudo and Momori back-to-back to begin the inning. Then he walked to Yanagita, a single to Kondo, and now a single to Nakamura. Has cut the lead now to 3-1. And that's going to bring Imamiya to the plate, who's 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his only time up against the pitcher Imai. So he's looking to be able to take care of the shortstop. 8 homers and 42 RBIs on the season for Imai. He's enjoying himself a nice campaign at the plate. He's going to get an opportunity here to try to claw some more runs back here for the Hawks. As the right-hander AMI works to the set, he checks the runner at second. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. As we said, when we do that tomorrow night, which one we will set up, I'm not sure. We'll try to set up one of the games, or at least a couple of the games. As the right-hander MI ready to deliver again. Checks the runner over at second. He kicks and fires. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As we said, only 4 other games going on across the NPB tonight. 3 others, or check that 4 others aside for this one here. As the right-hander MI works to the set, here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. Besides that, nothing scoreline at the Cochin. The other games in the Central League, Bay Stars and Dragons are locked up at 1. Dragons looking to complete the sweep of the Bay Stars. They've won the first 2 games of that series. Considering the Bay Stars are in a playoff hunt for the 3rd spot, you got to get some wins going here. And the Carp are trailing the Swallows 4-1. There's a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count now goes to 2-2. The 3rd place finisher, either that of the Bay Stars or the Giants, depending on how that shakes out, will get the Carp, but no guarantee that the Carp are going to finish in 2nd place the way they've played lately. They're hanging on for that as well, but none of the teams here are going to be able, or have shown to be able to get it going. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted over the head of the second baseman, Tonosaki, into right field. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's too high as the right fielder Haruma airmailed that one, almost got over the head of Koga. And coming around to score from second is Kondo on the RBI single by Imamiya. Imamiya's got himself a run batted in. Kondo comes around from second to score. Nakamura slams on the brakes at second. That cuts the score down to 3-2. It's going to bring up the left fielder, Tetsuro Yanagamachi. As we complete the tour of the out-of-town scoreboard, the only other game is in the Pacific League, and it is the Buffaloes and Golden Eagles locked up at 0s. So some clutch hitting there by Kenta Imamiya has now cut the lead to 3-2. Runners at first and second. Nakamura at second. Imamiya at first. Tetsuro Yanagamachi here batting with 2 gone in the 4th inning. Hawks trying to get themselves all the way back here with 3 of their own in this inning. As there is a breaking ball down, but the home plate umpire says that Yanagamachi went around, and that's going to go up with the right hand. The count is quickly 0-1. Could not hold up his swing. So lots of action all around the NPB tonight. As we're into these stages here in mid-September of scoreboard watching. Only a couple of weeks left in the season. So no balls and 1 strike to Yanagamachi. The right-hander MI working to the set. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. It is literally crunch time now here in the NPB, as a lot of these teams are now, some of the teams are already out. The Lions, not quite yet, but for all intents and purposes, they might as well be. Of course, eliminated already are the Fighters. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Yanagamachi. Actually, that last pitch looked like it may have been not a breaking ball, but almost a 2-seamer there from MI. Maybe even a changeup. It didn't look like a changeup grip, but he threw it as if it would be a sinker or something along those lines. I have to get a look at his pitch mix. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as the right-hander holds set, and now he kicks and delivers. It is a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. Yanagamachi goes down on strikes for the second time tonight, and they're going to strand a couple of runners aboard, but not until they do some damage to the Hawks. Hawks had 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors and 2 runners left aboard. Now moving to the bottom of the 4th inning, your score is the Seibu Seibu Lions 3, Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for checking in with us tonight.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the 4th inning, and it's going to be Takeya Nakamura, Ryusuke Sato, and Junichiro Kishi to come to bat, as it is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to face the starter Yuto Mori, as Mori will begin his 4th inning of work. Crooked numbers in this game here: 3 runs scored in the 2nd inning by the Lions, 2 runs in the top of the 4th by the Hawks, and that's been all the scoring. They've scored in bunches of these ball clubs. And in that last half inning, if their Lions are going to kick themselves, all the runs came with 2 out. So here comes the first offering from Mori to Nakamura, and it is a breaking ball that misses down for ball 1. Count is 1-0. Nakamura 0 for 1 tonight, flew out to left field. He's hitting .271 on the year with those 16 homers and 37 runs driven in. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted foul over the netting and into the seats way down the left field line, and that's going to run the count even to 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1-1 here to Nakamura. Interesting, I've seen a number of balls that are hit in that section or in that area. Where I was sitting in the ballpark, not one reached me. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on, and this is grounded foul just past the bag at third base, and it's going to run the count now to 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1-2 it is. Friend Alexander Leggett in the house. He says, good morning, and we welcome you, Alexander, for the commute. Appreciate you for popping in today. We're still in jet lag mode, so probably you'll end up doing another game tomorrow night. More than likely, it'll be one of the Central League games because it's only 3 of them on the slate. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Nakamura is gone. He is out for out number 1, so 1 away, and that is going to bring up the third baseman, Ryusuke Sato. Alexander says, should have brought a glove. Yeah, well, that particular night that I was there, even though we were sitting watching some of the fly balls go over the netting into the bowl, there was nothing that was even close or remotely close to being where we were at. I have to tell you, that game there, I sat in my seat for the first 5+ innings, and then I had to move around. It was an absolute soup bowl in Seibu. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. It's an open-air dome, unlike the Kyocera Dome or the Tokyo Dome. As the 0-1 is on the way, it's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-1. And so the air circulation when you get lower is tough. But up high, it's not so bad. But even still, that game there, it was hot and humid. As there's a breaking ball that misses down, the count is 2-1. And it was actually one of those rare moments. I had some pretty good weather through my time in Japan, but we had a thunderstorm roll through just prior to that game. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into straightaway center field. Moving back on it is Shudo. He's there. He's got room, and he makes the catch. And that retires Ryusi Sato for the second out of the inning. 2 gone, and that is going to leave it up to Junichiro Kishi. Well, for Kishi, he is 1 for 1 tonight. He singled and scored a run in the second inning as he was brought home on the 2-run double by Yuta Koga. Some heads-up base running, as we mentioned, by Kishi to get him over to second base as everybody on the base paths tagged up in that inning. And he squares the bunt, and he bunts through a breaking ball, and the count is quickly 0-1. He was trying to bunt that for a base hit. So no balls and 1 strike to Kishi. As we mentioned, scores around the NPB. We checked out that game live with the Giants and the Tigers. That was what we wanted to call last night. Couldn't get a feed, get one tonight, though. There's a fastball swung on, is taken by on 1 hop by Emamiya. He fields it awkwardly. He throws to first, and that's going to retire Kishi on a ground out 6-3, and that's going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the 4th. They had no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 4 complete in Seibu. Your score is the Hawks trailing the Lions 3-2. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us tonight. Whether you listen live or on delay, we'll be back in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the 5th inning. We'll see the 8, 9, and 1 hitters come to bat for the Hawks when we return after this. We appreciate you guys for checking in with us here tonight. Whether you listen live or on delay, it is the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 5th inning work for Tetsuya Imai. 69 pitches through his first 4 innings of work. He gave up a couple of runs there in the 4th inning to allow the Hawks to get back into this one as they have cut the lead to 3-2. So he is on here in work inning number 5. He has allowed 4 hits in the ball game so far, and he's walked a couple of batters. So Imai ready to go here to work again as he faces Nomura for the second time tonight. And there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. Nomura 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up as he bats here against the right-hander Imai. Takuya Kai and Yukio Shudo to follow. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As we mentioned last night, the first game of the series was about 14,000 some odd. Last night it was below 14,000. There's a breaking ball waved out and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. And my speculation tonight on the 3rd game, it might even be less than this. I'm curious. I wonder how they would handle these games in Japan, especially when the team like the Lions are almost all but out of the playoff race. It would do something to entice the audience to come into the seats. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count's 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Always something to keep in mind once the teams are eliminated. So 2 balls, 2 strikes as the right-hander Imai works to the set. And now he kicks and delivers a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count now goes to 3-2 on Nomura. So 3 balls and 2 strikes, 74 pitches now for the right-hander. As we said, he began the inning at 69. So efficiency here and trying to get the bottom part of the order. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, Nomura, it's the second time tonight he's gone down on strikes. First time he's gone down looking. Not sure what he was looking at there, but that sawed the plate in half. He is gone for out number 1. That'll bring up the catcher, Takuya Kai. That's the 7th strikeout now in the books here for Imai in this one. So he has retired Nomura for out number 1, and Takuya Kai coming to the plate. Kai, 0 for 1 in this one. He flew out to the left fielder his first time up. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. As we said before, if you listen live or on delay, the question I had the other night is who in the NPB has struck out 5 times in a game? And I don't have an answer for that one. But hopefully, maybe with our stuff in as far as Google is concerned, we might be able to find something like that. You can get a list of players who've hit for the cycle, of course, as there's a fastball that misses down and in, and the count is now 2 balls and 1 strike to Kai. You look at players who've hit for the cycle, there's only been 76 times in NPB history that players have hit for the cycle, and nobody has done it since September of 2021. In 2021, Shugo Maki did it in August, and a couple of weeks after that, it was Yasutaka Shiomi who did it for the Swallows against the Giants. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball that misses down and away, and the count now goes to 3-1. The last player to do it in the Pacific League is in this game here tonight. And it goes all the way back to 2018, 5+ years ago, when Yuki Yanagita did it against the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters at the old Sapporo Dome. But it has been pretty much Central League after that. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. It's going to be ball 4 to Takuya Kai. That's the 3rd free pass issued by Imai. As we mentioned, that was going to be the key to the Lions' success tonight, to keep the walks down. Well, that's going to bring up the top of the order in Yukio Shudo, a tough man to double up. One of the things with Imai on the mound, when he walks somebody or he doesn't pitch anything well, it's like he juggles with the ball, bounces it in and out of his glove. You don't see that very often with pitchers, but it is noticeable. He does some goofy stuff out on the mound there sometimes. They've got the infield in at third base as they are concerned about Shudo and his speed. There's a fastball swung on, grounded to short for 1. Back to first, and they're going to pull the double play. Oh, what a play by the Lions. That ball had to be hit hard, and it was, because Shudo really runs well. That's going to be of a 6-4-3 variety. Genda to Tonosaki over to McKinnon, and that is going to do it here for the Hawks in their half of the 5th inning. No runs in the inning. There were no hits. There was no errors, and there was nobody left aboard. We're moving to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Your score is the Seibu Seibu Lions 3, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few, and our friend Dinger is in the house tonight. We thank you for jumping in here with us as well. Hang tight, guys. We'll be right back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We're cruising to the bottom half of the 5th inning, and it is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat for the Lions That means Ito, Yuta Koga, and Sosuke Genda to come to bat. As Ito will step up here, he is officially got no at bat tonight. He had a sacrifice fly to drive in the first Lion run of the ball game. That one to deep right field. That was his 11th RBI of the campaign. So Ito comes to bat here to face Yuto Mori for his 5th inning of work. Be curious to see if both of these starters will stick around long enough tonight. If they are going to be much more than the 5th inning or not. I would think that Imai probably comes out for the 6th. And probably maybe Mori as well. Mori, 59 pitches through his 4 innings of work as he delivers a fastball inside to Ito for ball 1. Count is 1-0. As we said, Mori had thrown over 100 pitches in his last outing. As the 1-0 is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on, and this ball is hit foul just down the left field line, past the outstretched glove of the third baseman, Nomura. It's going to run the count to 1-1 on Ito. As we get the replay of that one, he hooked it foul. Took about 3 steps out of the batter's box and then reeled himself back to the plate as he hook barreled that one down the line. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball swung on it is chopped foul just over to the third baseman, Nomura, who's in foul territory. And that runs the count to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ito. Ito, Koga, and Genda here in the 5th inning. As we mentioned before, only 4 other games going on around the NPB, and they're scoring in only 2 others. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball. Swung on it is lifted foul. This one here giving chase is Takuya Kai. He slides on his knees, but it goes off his glove. He can't make the play. And that's going to give second life here to Ito. He was getting close to the dugout. He had to drop to his knees. He tried to make the grab, but he wasn't able to do it. So Ito stays alive to fight again. Scoring around the NPB, 5-1 Swallows over the Carp. That's in the bottom of the 4th inning. Bay Stars Dragons locked at 1 in the top of the 6th. No score between the Giants and the Tigers. That's in top 6. Bottom of the 6th. No score between Buffaloes and Golden Eagles. Here it's 3-2 for the Lions as they hit in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats, and the count is 1-2 to Ito. So as we said, tomorrow, for those of you who are going to jump in with us, we are going to call a game. It is the Central League, and we talked about it last night when we couldn't get the Tiger-Giant feed. And we were kind of left in the loop. What I'm going to do tomorrow night is I'm going to set up possibly 2 or 3 feeds. And we're going to try to jump in on one of the ones. There's a fastball taken right down the middle. Ito stood there like the house by the side of the road, watched it go by, and he's gone for out number 1. That's going to bring up the catcher, Yuta Koga. So our intention is we're going to set up 2 feeds or maybe even 3. And then what's going to happen is whatever feed that we're able to best get, I'll put them in order of our rankings of who we would like to call first, second, and third. We can get the number 1 feed. We will make that call. Number 2 and 3 will be faded after that and deleted. So that brings up the catcher, Yuta Koga, who is 1 for 1 tonight. His double brought home 2 runs back in the 2nd inning. As the right-hander Mori ready to go to work again. Kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into shallow center field. Coming in hard is Shudo, and he makes the catch. Oh, that's a nice defensive play by the young center fielder, and retiring Koga here for the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 gone, and that's going to bring up the top of the order in Sosuke Genda. Well, for Genda tonight, he is 0 for 2. He has grounded out to second and struck out in his 2 trips to the plate, as he'll be facing Genda for the 3rd time in this one. You got to tip your hat to Mori after that 2nd inning where it looked like he was going to get himself in all kinds of trouble. He's really settled down. He's retired 9 in a row since that double by Koga. There's a first pitch breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0 to Genda. Where on the flip side, I thought Imai started to struggle early and then got himself into a groove, and then he ended up losing the wheels off the apple cart a little bit there in the top half of the fourth inning to the Hawks, where he allowed the 2 runs. So here comes the 2-0 offering to Genda as the right-hander Mori kicks and fires. Fastball swung on it is lifted into shallow left field. Moving back on it is Imamiya, but coming in is the left fielder Yanagamachi. He's going to make the catch, and Genda is going to be retired for out number 3, and that is going to do it here in the Lions half of the 5th inning. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. And as I said before, this is our proverbial Japanese halftime. We're going to put the music on the loop. We're going to step out. We're going to go get ourselves another round of iced tea, of course, with the lemon flavor. And we'll be back with all the action in just a few. Your score as we move to the top of the 6th. It is the Seibu Seibu Lions 3, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the 6th inning as the Hawks will come to bat here. Our friend Alexander Leggett says, I wonder if these defensive plays will hold up. Well, 81 pitches here so far for Imai as he goes into his 6th inning of work. To tell you, the Lions here are trying not to get swept in this series. They're trying to salvage one of the 3 games. And when you talk about playing out the string, this is exactly what they're doing right now. And I have to say that they're going to have to take a look into identify what their potential needs are going to be in the offseason. I mean, you think about Tomoya Mori dealt last year to the Buffaloes, and they replaced him with Koga and Suge. They really don't get the offensive production. Mark Payton, I'd be shocked if he came back for a second year. And you've got McKinnon at first base. I think McKinnon would probably be considered to come back another year. I'd be maybe shocked if they didn't bring him back. Here's the first pitch that is delivered to Masaki Momori, and it's a fastball that misses outside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Momori 0 for 2 tonight. He reached on a fielder's choice and struck out his 2 trips to the plate. As the right-hander Imai ready to go to work again. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball waved at and missed. The count now goes to 1-1. So kind of curious myself to see what the moves of the Lions in the offseason would be like. On top of it, I've never seen them really bring in a lot of pitching. I think it was Zach Neal was a starter. They had Dietrich Enns, who was here this year. He did not have a very good year at Enns. Record was awful, but at 1-10. But at the same time, there was a couple of hardship losses that maybe could have been better than what he was, as that fastball misses inside. The count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. But one would have to think that the Lions have to do a little bit better on their stuff. That's what I would think. So here's the 2-1 pitch, and it's a fastball that's missed. It's now 3 balls and 1 strike. 3 balls and 1 strike it is to Momori. I'm just having a quick peek here as a buddy of mine has sent me some information with regards to something other. I wonder if it's the playoffs or not, as there is a fastball that's taken for a strike and fouled away, and the count's now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Maury ready to go back to work again as am I ready to go back to work again? As that is going to be ball 4 delivered to Momori. He's going to get himself a walk. Yet another walk here, and that's what we talked about at the outset. This is a problem. Last night, 9 walks issued by the Lions. Tonight, and by our books, that is the 4th walk issued here by Imai. Just not good enough. So here comes the offering. It is a fastball that swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 0-1 on Yuki Yanagita. Yanagita has one of those walks, and it came back to haunt the Lions as he drew a walk with 2 out in the 4th inning. Came around to score on a RBI single by Akira Nakamura. He is officially 0 for 1 tonight is Yanagita. Walk and a run, and also a fly ball out. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Crowd is in good form in Saitama, despite the fact that they are sparse in numbers. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. As we mentioned, I haven't seen the official attendance come through yet, but I would be shocked to see if it was any more than last night. Usually that comes out around the 7th, 8th inning or so. We'll see if they have made the announcement, but they haven't as of yet. Probably counting the ticket stubs is the right thing to do. Counting the empty seats would take a lot longer. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2 to Yanagita. There is some scoring at the Cochin as the Tigers have got a 3 spot on the board against the Giants. Only a matter of time, I think, in that one. They now lead at 3-0. That's in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1-1 Bay Stars and Dragons. That game continues on in the bottom of the 6th. Really, the Bay Stars have got to figure something out to get some going there, because the Giants are losing, but all the teams that are in playoff contention, all taking it on the chin so far, with the exception of that 1-1 game. 5-2, the Swallows lead the Carp. That is in the top of the 5th inning. So it's not a race to the finish. It's looking like a stumble to the finish in the Central. As that fastball misses outside, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. (3-2) though, the scoreline here for the Lions over the Hawks, and it's the same sort of thing. The Hawks need to be able to find a way to put some distance between them and the Golden Eagles. As they throw over to first base and diving back in time is the base runner Mamori. Still got to keep an eye on Mamori. He can run a little bit. And we're looking at the upcoming games on the weekend. And we will call that rare Sunday night, Monday game because there are some Monday day games. It'll be 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight on the East Coast. And we will call one of those ball games. We're probably going to do the Buffaloes and the Golden Eagles because that game has playoff implications. Buffalo's still not going to haven't clinched yet. Fastball fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2 to Yanagita. That will be from the Kyocera Dome in Osaka. Curious to see what kind of attendance might be there. And we may try to stay with that entire series, both on Saturday, Sunday, and on the Monday games. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded over to second. Tonosaki goes to second for 1. Back to first. It's a double play. What a play there. Nice turn there by Tonosaki. Had to go to his left into the 4-hole. Blindside glove turn to fire to Genda for 1. And that is going to retire Mamori at second base. And then on the back end, Yanagita, who still runs well, out for the second out. So that is of the 4-6-3 variety. So 2 gone here in the 6th inning. The defense, stellar defensive play and timely defensive play continues here for the Lions. That's the second double play turn tonight. Check that, the third double play turn tonight by Saitama. There's a fastball that misses up and into Keisuke Kondo for a ball, and the count's 1-0. Kondo has singled and scored a run, and he's walked. He also was erased in a double play. So officially 1-for-1 on the docket tonight. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. Am I fortunate there? It looked like that they were setting up outside for Kondo. He missed his spot middle in. I think if you ask Kondo, he probably would have wanted that one back. So 1 ball and 1 strike as the right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-1. As we said, if we had to make a prediction for tomorrow night, the game that I have zero interest in calling would be that of the Giants and the Dragons. The game that we would probably more than likely want to call would be the Tigers and the Carp. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-2. I just don't know if we're going to be able to get anything out of that. And we'll also set up for the Swallows and the Bay Stars. Swallows are pretty much done. Don't have any interest in those guys, but the Bay Stars have obviously playoff implications for them. They got to find a way to get some wins as well as they hold down the number 3 spot in the Central League. Here's the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 3-2 on Kondo. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Dinger asked the question, holiday in Japan. On Monday, that I'm not 100% sure, Dinger. Great question. But I know that they are going to be playing a lot of Monday makeup games from now till the end of the season, especially for the rainouts to get the games in before the official season is complete. Here's the 3-2. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count remains at 3-2 to Kondo. But there are afternoon affairs on that Monday, which means it's going to be a 9 o'clock start our time. So I am curious to see exactly who that may be. So here comes the 3-2 offering as the right-hander works himself to the set position. Here comes the pitch from Imai. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on and fouled into the netting down the right field line. The count remains at 3-2. But as we said on the slate there, the Monday game, there's also a follow-up on the following week. There are Monday games slated as well. Full slate. Those games will all go off at 2 a.m. Pacific time. And then when you get into October, and we look at the slates, I can't believe we're already at that time of the year. We're racing into October. There are games slated again on Monday in October on the 2nd, and games that will be played all the way through till October the 9th make up days. The playoffs are set to begin on Saturday, the 14th of October, the first series, the climax series. As that pitch is fouled away, and the battle continues with Kondo. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is here. This here by our books is going to be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Pitch number 102 of the ball game to be delivered by Imai. Here comes the offering. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Kondo goes in the books for the 3rd out of the inning. Yet another strikeout here by the right-hander Imai, and by our tally, that would be number 8 in the books. And that is going to do it here in the 6th inning for the Hawks. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the 6th. Your score is the Lions 3 and the Hawks 2. Stick around, everybody. Whether you listen live or on delay, we really appreciate you guys for being here with us. And we'll be back in just a few with all the action after this. Here is our friend Steve. We haven't done a lot of Steve Rademacher tonight. Be sure to check him out after the ball game is completed.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. In turn, we like to support Steve Rademacher after the game. Be sure to go check him out. It is Steve Rademacher and his Money Monday Takeover Tuesday, and all the other stuff, his Saturday morning cartoons, everything else that he brings to you. We have been putting up a number of short videos, especially with MLB highlights after the game. If you've got nothing else to do and you want to look at some shorts, we post them up. We've been running 3 or 4 per day. We try to take all the interesting highlights and rattle them off for everybody's viewing pleasure. So be sure after the game to go check those out at your leisure. It is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat for the Lions in their half of the 6th inning. It's Shuta Tonosaki, Takuya Haruma, and David McKinnon to face Mori. And the first pitch is a split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Tonosaki. Tonosaki has yet to been able to figure out Mori here tonight. He has struck out looking and struck out swinging in his 2 trips to the plate against the veteran right-hander, the former closer turned starter. As the right-hander gets his sign from his catcher, Takuya Kai, and he's ready to go back to work. The righty working to the set. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses outside. Now the count now goes to 1-2 on Tonosaki. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mori again leaning in, getting his sign from his catcher. He's ready to go back to work. And here comes the offering. It is a fastball that misses outside, and Tonosaki does a pretty good job of holding up on that one. That runs the count now to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lions fans urging their team on. As we said, it is a sparse crowd in Seibu for this one. The other part of it is the Hawks have a good haul to travel, or their visiting fans. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tonosaki. Our friend Dinger says, any significance of a winning pennant besides home field? Well, yeah, you get that first round bye, so that's a feather in your cap. You can set up your pitching accordingly. So 2 versus 3 play off against one another. First pitch is a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line. Count remains at 2-2. So if you're somebody like the Oryx Buffaloes, you get to sit and wait for the opposition as they get to beat each other's brains out to try to win that series. And as we said, it's shaping up to be the Marines and the Hawks. Although the Hawks, if the Hawks lose tonight and the Golden Eagles win, the Golden Eagles are going to be right in the hip pocket of the Fukuoka Ball Club. We were doing some schedule hawking there a little bit ago. I want to see if those 2 teams are going to be playing each other. As there's a breaking ball that's down and up with the right hand goes Shuta Tonosaki. Up with the right hand goes the umpire, and down goes Shuta Tonosaki for the 3rd time tonight on strikes. As he is retired on this one. Couldn't hold up his swing, and I have to say I agree with the first base umpire, and making the tag is Tonosaki on Kai. Takuya Kai was very, very dramatic in that one. That is going to bring up the right fielder, Takuya Hiruma. Our friend Dinger says he's not sure that the Hawks have pitching for the playoffs. I have to agree with you on that one. There's a ball hit softly to the right side, fielded neatly by the second baseman Momori, and he throws to first. Hiruma gone on a ground out 4-3 for the 2nd time tonight. He's gone for out number 2 here in the 6th. That's going to leave it all up to the first baseman, David McKinnon. But in a 1-game set, I don't know if the Marines have enough pitching to get them through against the Hawks. And so certainly that would be something that I would be eyeballing, so to speak. The Hawks can probably take care of that. I just don't know if the Hawks can get through two series. But we'll have to wait and see. I think the Buffaloes are on a collision course with the Japan series. And I don't know if it was our friend Dinger earlier on or one of the others who was saying they were predicting a Buffaloes-Tigers Japan series. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away to McKinnon, and the count is 1-0. David McKinnon, 1 for 2 tonight. He scored the first run for the Lions back in the 2nd inning. He has a single in 2 trips. But that would probably set the city of Osaka off with the Buffaloes and the Tigers playing one another for the championship. There is a breaking ball that misses, and the count now goes to 2-0 on McKinnon. Waiting his turn on deck is Takiya Nakamura. Should McKinnon reach safely. So here comes the 2-0 offering as the right-hander works to the set, kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, grounded softly over to short, fielded by Emamiya, goes across the diamond, and that is going to retire McKinnon. He goes in the books as a groundout, 6-3 for the 3rd out of the inning. And that will do it here for the Lions in their half of the 6th. There's no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. Maury continues to cruise. And we are now moving ourselves to the top of the 7th inning. Your score is the Lions 3, the Hawks 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We appreciate you guys for being here. I'll answer Dinger's questions when I come back after I get myself a little sip of iced tea. We'll be right back in just a few.
I've wanted to try this for a while. I want to try to make a wave. This is going to be the eye.
It is Matt Hollis, a supporter of our channel. We'll be back in just a couple moments. 3-2 for the Lions as we're going to be moving to the top of the 7th. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. I jumped the gun on that one. I gave you the 4th of the Hollis ads. Our friend Alexander Leggett said New Zen ads. We've got a few other things that we're going to be propping together here, especially after our Japan journey. Just try to break down some of the video and edit. I've got a really cool piece I'm working on the gloves of the NPB and some highlights and stuff. It'll be about an 8 to 10 minute full-length video. So hopefully you can check that out when we drop it. No time frame yet, but I'd say within the next couple of weeks, I've got about 30% of it done. Am I still in the ball game at 102 pitches? And the first pitch he delivers to Akira Nakamura is a fastball that misses outside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball taken on the inside corner for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-1. Just saw a flash that came across my screen. It said former NBA player Brandon Hunter collapses and dies at the age of 42. I don't remember Brandon Hunter. That's the tweet that we got. There's a fastball that misses, and the count is now 2-1. If Twitter is no longer tweets and they call it X, I wonder what they call the messages that you get. Are they X's? Questions that need to be asked by Elon or answered by Elon Musk. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. As he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball that misses outside. The count is now 3-1. Yeah, Alexander Leggett says they stop him at 90 in the MLB, and Japan says it's lightweight. Yeah, they're just warming up over there. They probably snicker. In fact, Trevor Bauer, until he got hurt there a couple of weeks ago, he was ratcheting up pitches in the 130s, whatever it might be. Here's the 3-1. That breaking ball misses upstairs. That's going to be the 5th walk issued by Amai tonight. As I said at the outset, last night the Lions issued 9 free passes as a ball club. Amai has now issued 5 walks. So they're going to need to keep the runners off the base paths. Just don't throw enough strikes. Well, that brings Kenta Imamiya to the plate. Imamiya drove in a run back in the 4th inning. I think he may have driven in 2. I have to go back and double check my stats. No, he drove in the 2nd run. It was Akira Nakamura who had driven in the 1st. And Imamiya, in his famous position, he is squaring to bunt. The all-time Pacific leader in sack bunts, gets it down. It's a good one. Imai fields it. He throws to first. That's going to be a sacrifice. And Imamiya is going to go in the books as 1-4 on the putout. Advancing to second is Nakamura, and that's going to bring up the left fielder, Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Our friend Alexander Leggett, who's in the house, says they stop him at 90 in the MLB. Of course, there was quite the firestorm last week when George Kirby went public and said he didn't think he should have went out for the 7th inning of work. We do have a conference on the mound here as the Lions pitching coach has come out for a fuel check for Amai. The fuel check is at 108 pitches. He pats him on the back and walks off, and he's going to stay with his right-hander here. But as I mentioned before, the interesting part is that, you know, the amount of pitches that are thrown in the NPB and the starters that will take some of that on, Major League Baseball maybe should be taking notes in some capacities. I mean, I look at this and I say 90 pitches, you're already warmed up, you're already heating up. Yeah, I understand the fact that the first time through the order or the second time through the order, you're not usually as successful. And here's the pitch from Amaya. It's a split finger pitch that misses down for a ball. But don't you think a Justin Verlander third time through the order is a better option than maybe some of the pitchers out of the Houston bullpen? bit unfair because Houston's got a pretty good pen. But you got a Cy Young Award winner on the mound with a 4-pitch mix. Let him do his thing. So here comes the 1-0 to Yanagamachi as the right-hander checks the runner at second. And now he kicks and fires. It's a fastball that just misses upstairs. The count is now 2-0. So Yamai here getting to be in the twilight of his night, one would think, on the mound. But George Kirby certainly set a lot of people off, former players, especially when he was saying he wanted to come out of the game. Roger Clemens took him to task. I think Craig Biggio chipped in on stuff. A lot of ex-players. In fact, I think the Troika from the Oakland A's, Zito Mulder, those guys, there's a fastball swung on. It's lifted into left field. This ball's going to hang up as the left fielder, Kishi, moves towards the line and makes the catch. Yanagamachi hit the ball hard, just not hard enough. He's going to be erased for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to the third baseman, Asami Nomura. Alexander Leggett says he was ticked having a bad game, and he apologized afterwards. Actually, I think he had a decent game. It was him going out for the 7th inning that he was basically saying that, hey, I'm not programmed to do this. And in some cases, to Kirby's defense, he's got a point because they're so typical 90 pitches and you're out of the game in the 6th inning. To let him go back out there for the 7th, he's probably mentally not prepared for that. There's a fastball that misses upstairs and the count is 1-0. When you think of the league leader in complete games across Major League Baseball, if I had to do a Google search on it, I would have to think that maybe the leader's got 2 complete games this year. That's just a guess off the top of my head. So you got a guy like George Kirby, all of a sudden he's used to going 6 innings, and they take him out, they bring in their bullpen. He's got a bit of an argument. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field, and Kishi kind of gets turned around a little bit, but he makes the grab, and that is going to do it. That's the 3rd out of the inning. While they strand a runner, the leadoff walk to Nakamura does not come back to haunt the starter MI. There was no runs, no hits, no errors. There was a runner left aboard. The manager, Fujimoto, has come out of the Hawk dugout. Looks like we're going to get ourselves a pitching change. That is going to be the end of the night for Maury. We'll be back in just a couple after this. Appreciate you guys for listening in here tonight. We'll be right back with all the action in just a few. We are moving ourselves to the top half of the 7th inning, or checked at the bottom half of the 7th inning. It'll be Nakamura, Sato, and Kishi to come to bat, and we'll be back in just a few minutes after this, as it looks like we are going to have ourselves a pitching change in Seibu. We'll be right back in a few.
Let's go. Yo. I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never.
Well, we may have jumped the gun a little bit as we thought that Maury's night would be done, but it looks like there may have been a defensive change. Maury is back in for his 7th inning of work here, and the first pitch is a breaking ball delivered to Nakamura that swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. 80 pitches through the first 6 innings for Maury, as he's been very pitch efficient in his time of work. It'll be Nakamura, Sato, and Kishi face the right-hander here. There's a fastball that just misses down, and the count goes even to 1-1. We're going to see if it was a defensive change made by the manager Fujimoto. My guess is it is, and it looks like it is Kawase who is now at third base as he is come on to replace Nomura. He's going to be hitting in that spot of the batting order in the 8th spot as well. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. So Nomura's night is done as Kawase is now in on the defensive side. So 2 balls and 1 strike as the right-hander gets his sign from Takuya Kai. Lions here have a 3-2 lead, holding on to it here. They are looking to add to their total. There's the fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mori, of course, as we said, the former closer turned starter, making his 5th start of the year. He had a start on September the 3rd. So he has gone 11 days between starts as the 2-2 is ready to go. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball missing down and away, and the count now goes to 3-2 on Nakamura. Got to be delicate here. The 40-year-old still has some juice in the bat. He's got those 16 homers this year. Got an outside chance. He'd have to get hot to be able to get himself up to 20 home runs. Don't know if he's got enough in him to do it. Our friend, the Alexander, says the Hawks' defensive infield has been janky for a decent part of the season. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. Count remains at 3-2. Yeah, I think the Lions may have spewed the rest of their stuff. I don't know what to tell you. Amai's at around 110 pitches. Does he come back out for another inning? My guess is that he could. I think about it. It'll be Kai, Shuto, and Momori to get things going. He's going to have to try to keep that top of the order off the base paths. And then they'd have to turn it over to the bullpen for the 9th. There's a breaking ball waved out and missed. Nakamura goes down on strikes. He's gone for out number 1 here in the 7th. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Ryusi Sato. By my count, that's 8 strikeouts here for Mori tonight, as Sato comes to the plate. Sato 1 for 2 tonight. He scored the 2nd run of the ball game for the Lions back in the 2nd inning. He's also flown out to center field. Well, when you think about the game the other night that we called, pretty much the runs were scored in bunches there. The Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks scored 4 in the 1st and then 4 in the 11th. As he pitches a fastball that catches the outside corner to Sato for strike 1. The count is 0-1. And when I think of that, I think of tonight, and of course the runs have all been scored in bunches. I think there was only 1 run scored by the Lions the other night that was a singlet. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is going to be lifted into shallow left field. It's going to get down for a base hit, and Sato's aboard with a 1-out single. So Sato is at first, and that is going to bring up the left fielder, Junichiro Kishi. Well, for Kishi, he's 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single in his 2 trips. He's also scored a run. As he comes to bat here, 1 for 2 on the evening. As we said, the Lions are looking for anything to unlock. I wonder how they're going to try to build on this for next year. And I think about some of the off-season moves, even some of the moves that they are players that they've lost over the last few years. You take a Shogo Akiyama out of their offense. You think of Yusei Kikuchi, the pitcher for the Blue Jays in Major League Baseball. He was a Saitama Seibu Lion. And then you take away Tomoya Mori as they had traded him to the Oryx Buffaloes. So you lose some pretty good offensive players. And I look at the lineup and I say, well, who have you replaced them with? And that is the million-dollar question, with the who being the all in capitalized letters. And they really haven't done it with a whole lot. McKinnon's been okay this year. There's no doubt. They lost Yamakawa, of course, to the issue off the field. There's another piece out of your offense that you've lost out at, and you really haven't replaced it with a whole lot. So I'm not sure that the Lions are going anywhere soon in terms of a playoff structure next year. And in fact, I might even argue and say that the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters might be able to catch them. So runner at first is Sato. Kishi at the plate here, and he squares the bunt and he pushes it down the first baseline. It's a decent one. It is fielded by the first baseman Nakamura, and he underhand flips it to Momori covering. It is going to be a sacrifice bunt. It's going to be 3-4 on the putout, as that'll retire Kishi for the second out of the inning. Sato is going to advance over to second base. That's going to leave it all up to the center fielder, Ito. Good idea there by the hitter Kishi to try to push it past the pitcher. Nice job there by Nakamura to come off the bag to field it. And an equally good job by the second baseman to get over and to have to make the play. So that is going to put the runner at second base with 2 gone, and it's going to bring up the center fielder, Ito. Well, Ito tonight is officially 0 for 1. He struck out looking his last time up, but he hit a sacrifice fly to drive in the first run of the ball game back in the second inning. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Ito. As we mentioned, there's going to be, for our friend Alexander Leggett, a 9 o'clock ball game on the Pacific clock on Sunday night, which will be Monday Japan time. So that is going to be a ball game we are going to call. So we'll set up some of those ones. Haven't decided. I think Friday we'll call a game here because I've got tickets for the Dodgers and Mariners, but I'm going to sell those off as that pitches a breaking ball that misses outside. Originally, it was supposed to be Clayton Kershaw going against George Kirby on Friday night. But now I see they pushed Kershaw's start back to Saturday. He'll go head-to-head against Bryce Miller, where Bobby Miller will get the ball for the Dodgers on Friday night. And I don't know if I want to make the run down to do it. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This ball's golfed into deep left field, and it's going to get over the head of Kondo, and it's going to get all the way to the wall. Shuto picks it up. He fires it in, and that's going to score the runner from second base. They had to play the outfield in, and it was a nice piece of hitting there by Ito to drive a double into the left center field gap. And that is going to increase the scoreline to 4-2. So an RBI double here by Ito. That cashes a run in. Sato comes around to score. 4-2 is now the scoreline. That's going to bring up the catcher, Yuta Koga, and it's going to give the Lions supporters something to cheer about. Alexander Leggett says Bobby Miller is starting too soon. He was in Double-A like a year or so ago. Yeah, well, it's out of necessity now. That looks like that's going to be it for Maury as he's coming out of the ball game. We're going to get ourselves a pitching change. I need to get myself another drink of iced tea because I'm coughing in the background here. Hang tight, everybody. Pitching change coming up. We'll be back in just a few after this from our friend, Steve Rademacher. Check him out. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Freddie. And hey, guys, let's open up a 5-card pack of 2023 Topps Baseball. And remember, during this timeout, you can also go visit some other channels. Oh, look, Jeter Downs. Blech. Diamond Princess. She's great. Oh, there's a cubby. Screw that. Hey, go check out the one and only Bud Stoney. Oh, here's one for another Hollis build. And you can stay anywhere you want to when you're around Freddie and the Seattle area. That's good for Mr. Fuego. And you know what? Why don't we bring out one of the Oakland A's for a league of her own? Bingo! Thank you, Freddie. Pitchers look like they're ready. Let's play ball.
If I'm not mistaken, I have my screen is not as big, but I think that was David McKinnon, the last card there of the Oakland Athletics. back on the back one as Steve is throwing his cards off the back wall. But it is now a 4-2 lead for the Lions as Ito has doubled home. Ryusi Sato to give the 2-run lead back to the Lions here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And Yuto Mori's day is done. They do have a right-hander who is coming into the ball game. It is going to be Matayoshi coming on in relief. And so we'll give you the specs on him in just a moment. So a right-hander, Matayoshi, coming in for the Hawks as he is going to be taking over here. So for the right-hander, Matayoshi on the season, as he is going to be facing the catcher, Yuta Koga. He is making his 24th appearance. He's 1-1 on the year. Here comes the first offering to Koga. It's a fastball that misses inside and backs Koga off the plate for ball 1. He has worked on the season 21 innings. He's allowed 18 hits. He's walked 5 and struck out 11. Matayoshi has an ERA of 1.71. The 32-year-old veteran kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled straight back, and the count now goes to 1-1 on Koga. So Matayoshi on in relief here of the starter Mori. He's got 2 gone here with the runner at second, Koga at the plate. Lions have got 1 run here in the inning. They're looking to add another. They've extended their lead to 4-2. The sand in the hourglass is starting to run dry here for the Hawks. Here's the pitch. It is a changeup swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. Still 0-0 in the top of the 8th inning between the Golden Eagles and the Buffaloes. That's the other game we're looking in on in the Pacific League. That's, of course, the only other game going on tonight. The Fighters and the Marines not playing tonight. 4-2, the Tigers are ahead of the Giants. That's in the top of the 8th inning. The Bay Stars, finally, one of those teams that are hunting in the playoffs. They've got a 3-1 lead now on the Dragons. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Koga stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched that go by for out number 3, and that is going to do it. Well, they got a run in the inning, did the Lions, on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now moving to the top of the 8th inning. Your score is the Lions 4 and the Hawks 2. Stick around. We'll be back in just a few with all the action, everybody. We appreciate whether you listen live or on delay for you guys being here with us tonight. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. The man of the hour is definitely Ito, as he has driven in his second run of the ball game here tonight. He has half of the RBIs. The other half go to Yuta Koga, as it is a 4-2 lead now for the Lions. They're half of the inning. I'm just taking a look at Ito. He looks like he has added a few pounds this year to his frame. I don't remember him being as thick as he was in last year. He is now the man of the hour as he's extended the lead. It is going to be coming to bat for the Hawks. It'll be Takuya Kai Yukio Shudo and Masaki Momori, the 9, 1, and 2 hitters. As we are checking in, and we are anticipating a pitching change for the Lions, as it is Imai's night is done, and we do have a pitching change, as it is going to be Harai coming into the ball game, as he will take over here. So the right-hander Katsunori Harai in relief. Big fella making his 47th appearance of the year. He's got 3 wins and 3 losses. He has worked 45 innings, allowing 42 hits. He's walked 17 and struck out 25, and he's got an earned run average of 2.60. So Katsunori Harai on in relief. He's the second pitcher used tonight by the Lions, as he takes over for Imai. So he's going to be facing what's supposed to be Takuya Kai, but it looks like his night is done. It's going to be Ikumi coming into pinch hit. So we've got changes all over the place. So we'll keep our eye if Tanagawara comes in behind the plate after this. And the first pitch is a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up over on the third base side, giving chase and sliding and making the catch is Koga. And that is just going to make quick work of the pinch hitter here. And so he is gone for out number 1. It's interesting that that's happened, because happened the other night, exactly the same thing and almost the same result. A pop-up over on the third base side that ends up getting the hitter out for out number 1. And that hitter, of course, as we said, is Kai Ikumi. So Ikumi with 1 at pinch hit at bat, and it was almost an instant replay of the game 2 nights ago. Same type of result. So he's gone for out number 1. That brings up the top of the order in Yukio Shudo. Shudo tonight is 1 for 3. He has singled, he struck out, and grounded into a double play, which is no easy feat because he runs really well. There's a breaking ball that catches the inside corner for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Shudo here has raised his average to 220 on the year with that knock back in the first inning. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses outside. The count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Friend Alexander Leggett said that infield had cost him too soon. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble. And it is. It's into the corner. Rounding first and heading to second is Shudo, and he's going to have himself his second hit of the ball game. A stand-up double here in the 8th inning. So he is aboard at second base with 1 gone, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Masaki Momori. The sand is running out of the hourglass here for the Hawks. They've only got 5 outs left to play with, but they've got to find their way to at least get 1 run back here. So they got a chance to be able to do something coming forward, and the man to do it there with Shudo setting the table. It's going to be Masaki Momori coming up. And then it's going to be the toughest part of the batting order with Yanagita and Kondo to follow. So the Hawks need to get themselves some runs here, as they are looking to be able to maintain their lead in the playoff race against the Golden Eagles. First pitch is a breaking ball that misses upstairs for a ball. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. As we said, we're keeping an eye in that game. It's in the bottom of the 8th inning in that game between the Buffaloes and the Golden Eagles. As the pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside. And in that game there right now, they've got 1 on and 1 out to the Golden Eagles by our account. It looked like Yasuda had drawn a walk after Mikael Franco had popped out to first. So 2 balls and no strikes. And they did have a pitching change as Tajima had exited for Yuki Utagawa. So Utagawa on in relief for the Buffaloes in that last half of the 8th inning. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fastball swung on it, is popped up into shallow right field. Tonosaki's racing back on it. He makes an over-shoulder catch, and he fires it back in. Oh, that's some good thinking, because the runner Shudo was tagging at second. Tonosaki had his weight taking him into right field, as he makes that over-the-shoulder catch. Mamori is gone for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up the right fielder, Yuki Yanagita. So Yanagita is 0 for 2 tonight. He's also walked and scored the first run of the ball game for the Hawks. So interesting here is Shudo is at second now with 2 gone. And Yanagita striding to the plate, as Mamori's talking to himself as he walks down the tunnel. So defensively, they're flashing their signals at shortstop. They're going to give themselves an opportunity. Yanagita at the plate here. Yanagita batting here with 2 gone as the right-hander ready to go to work as he checks the runner at second, and Harai delivers. It's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. Oh, that's a late call by the home plate umpire. Put the right hand against Yanagita. I think if I'm Yanagita, I'm saying, is that as high as you go? Because that pitch there looked like it was up in the zone. So no balls and 1 strike from Harai. Right-hander checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses inside. The count goes even at 1-1. Top of the 8th inning as the Hawks are trailing 4-2 here to the Lions. As we said before, it is not a big crowd in this one. As the pitch is a fastball that just misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-1. They, for some reason tonight, well, actually, that's the game in Tohoku. They have 21,539 in Tohoku. But the ball game here, we were looking for our attendance here on this one. And they got 13,683, very similar to last night, less than 14,000. And that's probably realistic. Here's the pitch. Fastball, take it for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-2. Lots of empty seats in Saitama. But the Lions all but out of the playoff hunt. It's an interesting stadium, as I said before, to get to. It's sunk down. It's like a bowl. And in some ways, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know really the history of the stadium, but it almost looked like the dome was put in after the stadium had originally been built as an open-air stadium. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count's now 3-2. Again, I don't know my Japanese all that well, so some of the pictures that I've taken, I have to translate a little bit for the history of some of the ballparks. But this one here, I do believe that the stadium was initially built and then they put the dome on over top. That came later, which is not the worst thing to do. It's probably good business sense. Here's the 3-2 pitch as the right-hander works to the set. Checks the runner at second. And now delivers. That's a fastball that misses upstairs. That's going to that's going to put runners at first and second as Yanagita draws himself a walk. Shudo at second, Yanagita at first, and Kensuke Kondo coming to the plate. And we talked about at the outset of this game, one of the biggest things that the Lions had to do was eliminate the walks. 9 base-on balls in last night's ball game issued to the Hawks. Well, in tonight's affair, the starter, by our books, walked 5 batters. And now the walk here by the right-hander Katsunori Harai, that's number 6 on the ball game issued here by the Lions. You're really running dangerous if you are allowing walk after walk after walk in this one. Our friend Alexander Leggett said at the Nats Park, you might get 1,000 on a weekday game. Yeah, at this point where they are out of the race, there are probably a lot of empty seats, and the television will be giving you a lot of low camera angles. They don't want to see that. That's like what happens when you watch certain types of games, women's hockey or lower tier soccer in the United Kingdom. They give you low camera angles. They don't want to show you the lack of bums in the seats. There's a first pitch breaking ball that misses to Kondo for ball one. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. They are playing the right fielder almost on the warning track. So the right fielder for the Lions right now, who is Haruma, has got his heels to the warning track. That's interesting. So anything that's bled to the right side is potentially going to score. So Kondo here, waiting on the 1-0 offering, and now he steps out and he's going to reset himself. So 1 ball and no strikes it is. Should he get on, Akira Nakamura waits his turn on deck. Checking the runner at second is Harai. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1 to Kondo. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. This game here is, I would say, as much as we would say is hanging in the balance, that is for sure. This is a critical point in the ball game. The runner at second, Shudo. The runner at first, Yanagita. 2 gone here. It's a 1-1 count to Kondo. The right-hander checks the runner at second and now delivers. It's a fastball swung on and is chopped foul over on the first base side. That's going to run the count to 1-2 on Kondo. Fastball. I have to say they've attacked Kondo tonight on the middle in part of the plate. Knee highs, middle in, and that is where both Imai and Harai have been throwing the hitter here. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As the right-hander leans in, he gets the sign from his catcher, Koga. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on and tapped foul behind home plate. Kondo again with another battle. The last at-bat that he had against Imai, he struck out, but he took him to a 9-pitch at-bat, and I have a feeling here that we might be on our way to one of those type of at-bats here. 17 pitches in the inning now for Harai. Our friend Alexander Leggett's got to be thinking about heading off to work here, I would think, shortly. Well, he's up here listening to us flap away tonight with the Hawks and the Lions. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-2. So just getting back to what we were talking about earlier and looking at the schedule of the games in the NPB. So as we mentioned, we're going to put 2 games up tomorrow night, and we will call one of them. And that depends on if we can get the feed. We have absolutely no interest in calling that game tomorrow night that's going to feature the Dragons. I do believe in that one. I don't care about that. It is actually the Dragons and the Giants. There's a fastball swung on, and this is fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2 to Kondo. So our number 1 choice of games for tomorrow night from the Mazda Stadium in Hiroshima would be the Carp and the Tigers. That's our number 1 choice. If we can't get that feed, then we will do the Swallows and the Bay Stars. And if we can't get that feed, well, we're packing it in. We're not going to do anything. But there's only 3 games on the slate for the NPB tomorrow. So our first choice is Carp and Tigers. No feed available. We'll bounce over and do Swallows and Bay Stars. That's how we're going to operate tomorrow's game. So we'll be prepared for both, but we're only going to do the one. So here comes the 2-2 pitch to Kondo as the right-hander Harai works to the set. The pitch is on the way. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded up the middle, fielded by Genda. He flips it from the side over to first. It's going to be in time to get Kondo. Goes in the books as a ground out 6-3 to retire the designated hitter for the Hawks for the 3rd out of the inning. They had no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 8th, it is the Lions 4 and the Hawks 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the bottom of the 8th inning when we return after this. Appreciate you guys for being here. We'll be right back after this. Hang tight. I'll answer some of your questions in a minute. We got a 4-2 game as we move to the bottom of the ninth inning. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for being here.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course, I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Appreciate you guys for sticking around with us here, whether you listen live or on delay. Appreciate you listening in tonight. It is going to be the top of the order, Sosuke Genda, Shuta Tonosaki, and Takuya Haruma to come to bat, and we are anticipating a Hawk pitching change. Our friend Alexander Leggett's laughing about saying not calling a game with playoff relevance. Yep, that is for sure. The Pacific League and the Central League, they always play to get the games in. I find it fascinating that teams will be out of the playoffs and they'll still be playing regular season games after the playoffs begin. They've done that in the past, and I think they will continue to do it in the future just so they can get that schedule in. It's unbelievable. I don't know how many people would actually attend those games. That is the way it goes. We do have a pitching change as Kaino is now on in relief. As the right-hander delivers a first pitch fastball at 95 that misses outside to Genda. So ball one. The third pitcher used tonight by Fukuoka. As he is on in relief, here is Kaino. And the pitch is a fastball swung on. It is lifted down the line in left field. Giving chase is Yanagamachi. He reaches up and he makes the catch. That is going to retire Genda for the first out of the inning. So one up and one away, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Shuta Tonosaki. Well, as strong defensively tonight as Tonosaki has played, he has not had a very good night at the plate. He has struck out all 3 times. He has come to bat. We mentioned it earlier, and we were talking about Takuya Kai the other night had struck out 4 times in the game and had almost a chance to strike out 5 times. He didn't, but we were trying to do our homework to find out when the last time an NPB player has struck out 5 times in a game, and I haven't been able to come up to that answer. Would have been an easy answer, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike by Tonosaki, and the count is quickly 0-1. Had Kai done it the other night? But because he didn't do it the other night, that leaves me the question, has it been done before? I know in Major League Baseball, Sam Horn had done it. And ironically, in the playoffs last year, there were a couple of guys. I believe Jimenez of the Guardians struck out 5 times in a game. As there's a pitch that misses upstairs to Tonosaki, and the count now is 1-1. But that is not an easy feat to go down 5 times in a ball game. Kind of ready to go again. He kicks and delivers. Fastball that misses down. The count is 2-1. Just to bring you up to speed on Kaino, it's his 40th appearance of the year. He's got a couple of wins against 1 loss. He's also got a couple of saves. He's got an ERA of 2.45, and he has 34 strikeouts in the 36 2/3 innings worked. This is his 4th season with the big club. He is he'll be 27 years old after the season, as there's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. As we said, we'll look to do that Carp-Tiger matchup tomorrow. We have already seen the pitchers on that one, and so That was the other thought of it, is who is the pitching matchup going to be? Is there's a fastball ticket for a called strike. But again, if we can't get that, then it'll be the Swallows and the Bay Stars as our backup plan, and we'll set up both feeds for that. The starting pitchers on the game for tomorrow night, it's Hiroki Takota against Masaki Oikawa for the Tigers. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Tonosaki goes in the books for the 4th time tonight. He's got 4 strikeouts on his name. He's gone for out number 2, and that's going to leave it up to the right fielder, Takuya Haruma. On the flip side of the coin, it is going to be Elvin Rodriguez going for the Swallows. He'll go up against Kentaro Taira of the Bay Stars. That is that pitching matchup. And the game we will not touch tomorrow, it is Ray Nakachi going for the Dragons against Soshi Togo for the Giants. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. But as I said, we'll set up dual streams and only one of them will go. Our friend Road Scholar says, "Go Lions," and good morning to everybody. We welcome Road Scholar in here. There's a breaking ball ticket for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So as Road has come into the conversation, as we were talking about, tomorrow we will set up 2 streams, and we hope we can catch one of those games that we can call tomorrow night. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-2. So that is our game plan. For Tigers and Carp would be the favorite, Swallows and Bay Stars number 2, and if we can't get either, then we call it a night. Because those are the only 3 games on the set. We're not going to do the Giants and the Dragons. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as the right-hander kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses outside, and that is going to run the count to 2-2 on Haruma. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Waiting his turn on deck is David McKinnon. We'll see what happens here if he's going to get a chance to bat yet again. He's had himself a decent night tonight. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball that misses outside. It's now 3-2 to Haruma. So it'll be the 9th inning for the Lions. They're going to try to preserve this 4-2 lead. They got through in my opinion, the toughest part of the batting order. As it'll be Nakamura, Imamiya, and Yannick Amachi to come to bat in the next half inning for Fukuoka. Here's the 3-2 pitch. As they kick and deliver, it's a split finger pitch swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Dinger says the Giants are making it interesting. As I said, I had written off that ball game tonight. It is a 4-3 game. That game has no business being this close. When we went and checked in on the live portion of the feed, it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was 0-0 at the time in the 5th inning, and the Tigers had the bases loaded with nobody out, and they couldn't cash in. Here's the 3-2 pitch. It's a split finger pitch swung on and fouled away. Count remains at 3-2. The Tigers should have that game blown apart. Much like the Bay Stars are now blowing apart the Dragons in the top of the 9th inning, Yokohama has an 8-3 lead over Chinichi. So that doesn't bode well for the Giants, who they are trying to chase down the Bay Stars, although the Carp will now be reeled in a little bit closer to the Bay Stars if Yokohama can hang on and win that one. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is to Haruma here. Pitcher Kino trying to finish him off for the 3rd out of the inning. Kino gets his side from his catcher. He's ready to go back to work. And here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. Haruma gone for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here in the 8th for the Lions. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 8 complete. Your score is the Lions 4, the Hawks 2. There will be a pitching change. It looks like it's going to be Krisky coming on in relief. And we'll be back here in just a couple moments with all the action after this. Appreciate you guys for jumping in here with us tonight. We'll be right back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a pitching change as Brooks Kriske is coming in to try to close out the deal. He is making his 9th appearance of the year for the Seibu Lions. He has no record, but he has 3 saves. He has worked 8 innings so far. He's allowed only 1 hit. He's walked 4 and struck out 5, and he's got himself an ERA of 0.00. He was with Yokohama last year with the Bay Stars. He appeared in 18 ball games for Yokohama. And he had himself a 1-1 record there last year, but his first year with the Lions, as he is going to come on here in relief to try to close this one out. And he is going to be facing Akira Nakamura, Kenta Imamiya, and Tetsuro Yanagamachi, as it'll be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to come to bat here in the last half of the inning for the top half of the innings for the Hawks. Our friend Dinger said that there were 2 outs and the runner on third in that Giants game. We were looking on it earlier. I'll take a peek in to see what exactly is happening there. I don't know if there's anything else that is going on in that game other than handshakes. It looks like that game is over because they are celebrating and patting each other on the back. It looks like that the Tigers have won. And not only by winning that has clinched the Central League titles, so they're going to get themselves that first round bye. And that is where the crowd is giving them their round of applause. Well, back to our action. The first pitch is a breaking ball delivered to Akira Nakamura. That misses upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. A collision course for a battle of Osaka, as both the Buffaloes and the Tigers winning there are potentially going to win the division. Fastball misses up from Kriske, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Right-hander Kriske kicks and delivers. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses down. The count is now 3-0. That was the first time I saw Kriske pitch the other night. I've seen him warm up in the bullpen a couple of times. I hadn't seen him in action. And in some ways, he reminds me that he wants to throw uphill. It looks like kind of like a Zach Greinke, as there's a fastball that catches the outside corner. Greinke is one of those ones who looks like he wants to throw uphill. And that's what it looks like here when he delivers. That's my first impression. Here's the pitch. Fastball that misses up and away. It's going to be ball 4. And there's another walk. That's the ugly walks that rear their head. That is going to be the 7th walk issued tonight here by the Lions, as that is the leadoff hitter Akira Nakamura aboard, and that is going to bring up the shortstop Kenta Imamiya. Well, for Imamiya tonight, he is 1 for 2 officially. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's also got a sacrifice bunt and an RBI. So he is batting here with the runner at second. Normally, if it was a 1-run game, you'd be thinking sacrifice bunt would be automatic. But Imamiya is going to have to swing the bat. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It is popped up into shallow right field. Moving back is Tonosaki, but coming in and calling him off and making the grab is the right fielder Hiruma, and that is going to retire Imamiya for the first out of the inning. So 1 away here, and that's going to bring up the left fielder Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Well, for Yanagamachi tonight, he's had a rough night at the office. He has struck out twice and flown to left in his 3 trips to the dish. As he comes to bat here. So that game is a final at the Koshin. It is a 4-3 final for the Giants for the Tigers over the Giants. Here's the first pitch. It's a fastball swung on and missed by Yanagamachi, and the count is 0-1. As we said, top of the 9th inning, the Bay Stars have got a 8-3 lead over the Dragons. Looks like in the top of the 8th inning, the Carper clawing their way back against the Swallows. It's a 5-3 ball game for the Swallows in that one. So don't go away there. In the top of the 10th inning, it is zip between the Golden Eagles and the Buffaloes. Golden Eagles are looking to gain ground on the Hawks as there's a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is now 0-2 to Yanagamachi. So no balls and 2 strikes. And Kawase, who came in defensively for Namura, waits on deck. There's a breaking ball that misses way outside. The count is 1-2. Curious to see if Kawase would actually come to bat or if they would consider pinch hitting for him. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yanagamachi. Runner at first is Nakamura, 1 gone here in the 9th. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Manager Fujimoto looks on here. He never looks like he's ever very happy. But we can kind of understand that. Once this game is complete, we will give you a full rundown of this one, and as well, we will also give you the scores from around the NPB. All of the finals that are in, we'll wrap those ones up for you. There are now 2 finals as the Baystar game is completed as well. Looks like Dayan Visayedo is waking up. He's got 3 homers in the last couple of games. It gives him 5 on the year, so his power outage has gone away. There's a breaking ball that just misses outside. And that's going to be ball 4. It's going to walk Yanagamachi. That's 2 walks in the inning. Now it's 8 in the ball game issued by the Lions. That puts runners at first and second. We're going to get a look at that on the replay again. Yeah, and that pitch looked like it was running off the plate. So runners at first and second here with 1 gone. Wait to see if it is going to be Kawase coming to the plate. So they're not out of the woods yet, are the Lions. What they need is a double play ball. They've already had 3 tonight. And it is Kawase at the plate. He's hitting 189 on the year with no homers and 10 RBIs. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the third base line. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Our friend Alexander Leggett said he's got to bounce out of here. Maybe we'll see you on Friday. We appreciate you for stopping in and listening to us here tonight. It is the top of the 9th inning. The Lions are clinging to a 4-2 lead with 1 gone. Looks like we have a pinch runner coming into the ball game, as that's going to be the end of the night for Yanagamachi. See who they have coming in to pinch run. It's Tanagawara, one of the backup catchers coming in to run here. He also can play the outfield. So Krisky here, ready to deliver again. Here comes the 1-strike pitch. Fastball taken right down the middle for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2 to Kawase. So no balls and 2 strikes. As we said, entertainment here. We got a 4-2 ball game for the Lions. The Hawks have 2 aboard with 1 gone here in the top of the 9th inning. They're looking to find some way to be able to score a couple of runs here if they can do it. And the man with Kawase at the plate. Here's the pitch. Fastball that misses up and away, and the count goes to 1-2. Have to do a double check as Takuya Kai's night had finished off earlier on. See who is going to be hitting in that next spot in the batting order. Looks like it is Manai who is the catcher. Will be on deck. Hiroki Manai. We'll see if he does come to bat. Fastball swung on and grounded foul just past the bag at third base. Keeps the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kawase. Of course, usually when Alexander Leggett has to go, that's when all heck breaks loose. He seems to have the knack for that. So stay with us here right to the end, as it is a 1-2 count here to Kawase. with one gone here in the top of the ninth inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, and Kawase goes in the book. So he went swinging at a ball. That is going to retire him for the second out of the inning. Let's see what they have up their sleeve. If indeed they do decide to bat the catcher, or if they're going to go to their bench again, Fukuoka, because Tanagawara came into the game as a base runner. He can easily get behind the plate. As Hiroki Minai is supposed to be coming to bat here. Let's see if they have somebody else off of the bench. So runners at first and second. It is Minai, the catcher, who's hitting here. He's batting .222 on the year. A couple of homers and 5 runs batted in. This is his first plate appearance tonight. And here comes the first offering from Kriske. It's a fastball waved at and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. So not an easy finish here for Lions fans, as Kriske has got a couple outs, but he's walked a couple of batters here in the inning. This is going to be pitch number 19 coming up here to the right-handed hitting Minai. And there is a fastball that is swung on and missed, and now the count goes to 0-2. Well, if I'm Kriske here, though, what word that comes to my mind is overmatched. I'm going to be going after him with some dead-on heat here. That's what I'd be doing if I was in his shoes. So here comes the offering from the righty Kriske. He works to the set, checks the runner at second, and the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul over the netting down the right field line, and the count now remains at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. It is definitely crunch time here in the top of the ninth inning. As the Hawks are looking for a way to be able to score themselves a run. Kriske leans in. He gets the sign from his catcher, Yuta Koga. He works to the set position. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and that is going to do it. As he's able to strike out the last 2 batters he's faced, Kriske's going to put this one in the books. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors. There were 2 runners left aboard. Your final score is the Seibu Seibu Lions 4 and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2. Stick around, everybody. We're going to come on back and wrap this one up in just a couple moments. Our friend Tim jumps in here to say, yes, the Hanshin Tigers are the Central League champs. That is correct. They knocked off the Giants tonight. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple moments after this. We appreciate you guys for being here with us. It is another Last Wraps baseball call. We'll wrap this one up and give you all the rest in just a few.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Each smile comes back again. Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just sing a song and think about sunny weather. Happy trails to you until we meet again.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to wrap this one up for you, and then we'll give you the scores from around the NPB. So first of all, in this one here, it was scoring in bunches early on. In the second inning, the Lions scored 3 times. David McKinnon led off with a single. With 1 out, it was Ryusi Sato also singling, and then Junichiro Kishi singling to load the bases. Up stepped Ito. The sacrifice fly to right field that scored McKinnon, but it also moved up Sato and Kishi into scoring position with 2 gone. And then up stepped Yuta Koga, and he had himself a 2-run double that brought home Sato and Kishi to give the Lions a 3-0 lead. In the fourth inning, the Hawks got 2 back. All came with 2 out. After Shudo and Momori struck out, Yuki Yanagita walked, and Kisuke Kondo singled, and Akira Nakamura singled home Yanagita, and then Kenta Imamiya singled home Kondo to cut the lead to 3-2. But the Lions added one for insurance in the seventh inning. With 1 out, Ryushi Sato singled for the second time tonight. Junichiro Kishi sacrificed him over to second, and up stepped Ito, and he hit himself a double into the left center field gap that scored Sato from second, and that put the Lions up 4-2, and that's where it stayed. The win in this ball game goes to Tetsuya Imai. He goes to 9-4 on the season. It is Yutamori who takes the loss. He drops to 2-2. If we go around the scoreboard from the rest of the NPB, if we take a look, the ball game that is going on between the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles and the Oryx Buffaloes, it's in the bottom of the 10th inning in Tohoku. That game is 0-0, and that game there is been played. We have right now they've got a runner at second with 1 out, as it is the pitcher Yamazaki is on in relief for the Buffaloes. It was Abbey who had a base hit to center field, and then Oda has sacrificed him over to second. And so that is where they stand. They've got a runner at second with only 1 gone in scoring position. In the top of the 8th inning, it is a 5-3 ball game between the Carp and the Swallows. The Swallows are clinging on to that lead by 2 runs. They had a 5-1 lead at one point. That is where that game stands. And then the other 2 games that are finals in the Central League, the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars with 5 in the 8th inning were able to knock off the Chinichi Dragons 8-3. The Dragons scored 2 in the 9th. 8-11-0 for the Bay Stars, 3-7-0 for Chinichi. It was Azuma getting the win. He goes to 14-2 now for the Bay Stars. Ogasawara takes the loss. He goes to 7-11. Home runs in that game, Dan Visaedo hit a pair. He's now got 5 on the year for the Dragons. There was 2 home runs hit by 2 different players. Shigomaki hit 2 for the Bay Stars. That gives him 28. Neftali Soto hit 2. He now has 12 for the Bay Stars. Again, your final 8-3 Yokohama. And the other game, it is the pennant clinching ball game, as the Hanshin Tigers knocked off the Amuri Giants 4-3. 4-10-0 for the Tigers, 3-7-2 for Yamuri. Sakai gets the win. He goes to 8-5 for the Tigers. Akiyoshi takes the loss. He's 3-5 for the Giants. Iwazaki gets his 32nd save of the year for the Tigers. Home runs in that one, 2 for Yamuri. It was Okamoto with his league-leading 39th. Hayato Sakamoto hit his 19th. And the Hanshin Tigers, Teruyuki Sato hit number 20 for the Tigers in that one. All right, everybody, as we mentioned before, what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to put up a couple of streams. More than likely, we want to do the game between the Carp and that one there. And we are not going to do the Dragons and the Giants. We would do the Swallows, I believe, in the Bay Stars, but we want to try to do Carp and Tigers tomorrow. So check it out if you are on. Maybe you could join us for that one. Once again, everybody, we appreciate you guys jumping in with us tonight, whether you listen live or on delay. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.